Good afternoon, or morning, ladies and gentlemen, as it's still 11:35. We don't get to say good morning here at Next Level Broadcasting too often, but good morning indeed to this state championship game here. Traverse City St. Francis, the defending state champions from last year, taking on Kalamazoo Christian in what should be an action-packed game if it was anything like what we saw in the game just before us. The Division II state championship went into extra innings, 6-4 final game there with Orchard Lake St. Mary. Welcome into our Scott Cutter and Associates of Farm Bureau Insurance Agency pregame show. Shane Smith, Charles Strail. We've got Zach Ladis Kennedy and Mr. Brennenberger down there taking care of the cameras this morning. Charles, both of these teams have a well-deserved spot in this state championship game. St. Francis comes into this one according to the MHSAA sheets that we have in front of us with a 33-5 record, and Kalamazoo Christian 26-8. They have both faced some very tough competition so far this season, and I have no doubt that this will be a great game for all of you at home.
This is going to be a great one, and just being able to be here, looking out over this Jeff Ishbia field here at McLean Stadium at Michigan State University. Obviously, the main storyline is the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators going for back-to-back state championships, but standing in their way will be the Kalamazoo Christian team that lives and dies by nail-biting victories. We'll talk about that a little bit more as how the Kalamazoo Christian advanced here over Detroit Edison. It was one tale for the ages, if you ask me. One of the better games that we've seen. Also, the game prior to this, the Division II state championship, was a great game as well. But just happy to be here, happy to have an audio simulcast for everybody here. The rights to this game, video-wise, owned by the MHSAA and NFHS network. But you're still seeing us right here live. We'll be here taking you through all of the sights and sounds and describing to the best of our ability what we see, so you can take it on the move today.
That's
right.
You know,
if you got it plugged into your car, plugged into your headphones, and do some chores on a beautiful Saturday down in East Lansing. Not the greatest of afternoons that we'll be having in northern Michigan due to some weather up there. So take us on the run, put us in your pocket, go for a jog, or just clean the house, do some chores, get that Saturday honey-do list taken care of while listening to our coverage and presentation of the Gladiators trying to go back-to-back for state championships.
Well, and Charles, you mentioned the incredibly emotional fashion in which Kalamazoo Christian won their game just this past Thursday. We can go back and forth sharing some stats between these two teams. Both teams, since the quarterfinal game, have had come from behind wins. In the semi-regional final. There we are. St. Francis against Sanford Meridian. My God, my brain this morning. They were behind 10-7 at the bottom of the seventh inning. They were able to score 4 straight ones, come up with the win 11-10. Kalamazoo Christian just this past Thursday, they were down 5-4 going into the bottom of the seventh inning. They were able to put together 2 runs of their own to come away with the walk-off there in the bottom of the seventh to win that game 6-5 to get here. Another interesting stat that I had is, speaking of defending state championships, if the St. Francis Gladiators were able to win this game today, it'd be the first time in 13 years that a team in Division III has won the state championship back-to-back. Likewise, they've also been to this game 4 times since 2017, so the last 9 years. And Kalamazoo Christian, they're newcomers coming into this. They've got a younger team. They only have 2 seniors on the roster. They've got 6 juniors and a sophomore on their starting lineup so far today. So it's going to be a battle, kind of, the old adage, Goliath versus David, so to speak. And Kalamazoo Christian is going to be filling in that David role, but they've, as we've seen just earlier this week and multiple times this season, they know how to come back from those deficits and claw their way back into this game. St. Francis has had to fend that off a number of times so far, not only in the regular season, but also in this playoffs. So, Charles, there's a lot to go on here today. We're just probably about 15 minutes away from opening pitch here, but plenty of stuff to talk about.
Well, and that's why I'm here. We can just keep on talking and talking and talking. And for everybody who knows me and for more or less knows you, we're fully capable and well-versed at talking about sports and talking about baseball and talking about, the St. Francis Gladiators and their tradition of excellence. One thing we do want to mention here on the pregame show is that getting the call, starting pitcher for the Gladiators will be Tyler Endress. He pitched in the championship game last year, Shane.
Yeah.
So we'll Also, you alluded to the David versus Goliath storyline. We'll also have the storyline of experience versus first time. Are there some jitters or too young to really know what's at stake? And we'll definitely be able to find out and kind of read into that within the first 3 innings. That's my prediction. Within the first 3 innings, we'll see if this Kalamazoo Christian team is nervous to play on such a big stage, and if the Gladiators are able to lean on some of that experience that they've generated, winning last year's state championship and bringing back a pitcher who felt the tension, felt the pressure, has experienced this stage in Tyler Endress like he did last year when the Gladiators won that game.
Yeah, well, not only is this a newcomer team with Kalamazoo Christian, but also their coach is new to this as well. This is his first season at the helm of this team, and he's already taken them to the state championship game. So that goes to show that he has the it factor to be a head coach. Your first season going to the state championship game, feather in your cap already. He's, again, amassed a 26-8 record at the helm of this Kalamazoo Christian squad, whereas head coach Tom Pastenaw, he's been around this team for a little bit. 14 seasons now, he's amassed a 351 to 118 record, which is just about as good as you can get.
Quick math,
in any
pretty
league.
good.
Yeah, pretty good indeed. And again, this is his 4th time at the state championship game, winning last year. So it's experience versus newcomers, but even the newcomers have that grit, that determination, and the know-how from the head coach in his first year to get to this game.
Shane, I'm just so excited to see this one unfold because there's so many storylines. We've talked about them. We can talk about them throughout the entire pregame show. Actually, in a little bit, I'm going to go down and get a little coach's interview.
Yeah.
And we'll see how the Gladiators are feeling, how they're feeling about their own experience being here last year. That'll be coming up in about 5 to 10 minutes here on the Carter & Associates Farm Bureau pregame show. But before we get to that, we want to show you how the Gladiators got here because we've got some highlights and a post-game interview from the semifinal with head coach Tom Pastenaw that we're going to show over here, and we'll be back after this.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency at Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
And welcome back into the Carter & Associates Farm Bureau pregame show. Shane Smith, Charles Strail. We're going to step aside. Charles, you're going to lead the crowd, the audience at home, through this highlight reel that we've got of the state semifinal game that St. Francis won to get to this point. So take it away.
Absolutely. So you see here we have our interview. And then this is the first couple runs of the game. That was Lance Voss singling in a run for Tyler Thompson. Next up, we've got that was the Lance Voss single as he turns around and then takes over to second base. As you see the Gladiators going from really working the base path well. They forced over 6 errors.
Yeah.
And they were able to get those extra bases. And because of that, Shane, they were able to put more runners across the plate without having to do as much work. You know, you don't have to play, position to position in a platoon baseball when you're able to get free bases. Here's another RBI single that led to a run. And you see the Gladiators here being okay with taking what the pitcher was giving them. They had multiple RBIs hit to opposite sides of the field. It all started off with John St. Peter in the first inning. He hit an RBI triple, a 2 RBI triple. As you see, those highlights there have ended, but the Gladiators looking to continue that momentum here this afternoon when this game finally gets going, I believe, as we were a couple minutes delayed due to the extra inning session in the Division II championship game. But Shane, I was just impressed with the Gladiators' approach at the plate, being able to take and go opposite field, not being greedy, trying to pull the ball, trying to smash it over the wall here. And when you're doing that, not trying to do too much, that is, you're oftentimes rewarded. You know, one of the greatest hitters that I can remember ever playing baseball for the Detroit Tigers was Miguel Cabrera. And he ultimately would just be able to swing and go right field. How many opposite field home runs did he have? Singles, doubles.
Oh,
and he was not the fleetest of foot.
No.
But just by taking what the pitcher was offering and then going opposite field, it was beautiful hitting back then. It was beautiful hitting on Thursday by the Gladiators.
Well, what you just said, take what they're given by the pitcher, that leads me into a point I wanted to make by Steve Vetter, not my words, his words, of the MHSAA. He wrote up a very nice article about this matchup, how these two teams, St. Francis, Kalamazoo Christian, came to this game, and he called the Gladiators an opportunistic team. When you broke down the numbers from the game that they played just this past Thursday, they only had 4 more hits compared to Lutheran Northwest of Rochester Hills. They had a 10-6 hit rate, but the real problems for Lutheran Northwest came, as you mentioned, from the 8 errors that they had as a team, and then the 10 stolen bases that St. Francis had on their own, but also off of some of those errors as well. So it just goes to show that in order to beat this St. Francis squad, you have to play an immaculate game, because they will take every chance that they can get off of a fielding error, off of a missed throw, trying to get the tag out off of a stolen base. All that stuff goes to show that if Kalamazoo Christian wants to win this game, it's going to have to be immaculate. Maybe almost as immaculate as the Immaculate Conception, Charles.
They're going to have less than 2 errors if Kalamazoo Christian wants to come out with this game, Shane. And, you know, just the overall gravity of this moment for a team that's so young in Kalamazoo Christian, I got to feel like they're going to be excited and they're going to be feeling the energy early. I think the first 3 innings will really dictate how this game turns out. I mean, obviously, I know that you play 7 innings. However, I just think the first 3 innings are going to be so pivotal for Kalamazoo Christian, not only to kind of shake off the jitters, but to prove to themselves internally that they belong with the defending state champions on the field.
Yeah, I mean, those 3 innings will really do it. Because in the game that we saw this past Thursday against Rochester Hills Lutheran Northwest, after 3 innings, St. Francis was up 7-1. Now, I'm not one to say that the game's over that early, but you could really tell that it was going to be very difficult for Lutheran Northwest to gain any sort of momentum, down 6 already about halfway through the game.
Yeah.
And, as it came out to be, they only scored 2 more runs. St. Francis was able to score 6 more. So if I would have to say, if St. Francis has the lead by more than 4, maybe 5 runs after 3 innings, it's going to be a very, very difficult mountain for Kalamazoo Christian to climb.
Yeah, I would agree, and just overemphasize that sentiment where you do not want to get behind this St. Francis team. The ability for them to bring in multiple experienced pitchers that are all different but all excel at the same time in their own individual facets and skills. They do have Lance Voss available to come in relief of Tyler Endress. Lance Voss pitched in the semifinal game on Thursday, so he's available to pitch again today. They used that 2-pitcher approach last year to win the state championship when Tyler Endress started, and then Sam Wildfawn came in to close the door to get the victory last year in the state championship game. So the depth and quality of pitching that they have available to their roster is very unique, especially 2 years running.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take another break here for just a brief moment. Thank a couple more of our sponsors, and then we'll come back. St. Francis currently in the infield warming up. We'll be back on the other side of these messages.
Why are people switching to Surf Internet? They want faster speeds, reliable service, and no hassles. Make the switch today and enjoy Surf's fiber-fast internet like these customers do. Fiber-fast internet plans start at just $30 a month with no contracts and all-in pricing. Visit surfinternet.com.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows. Call 231-633-9430.
A Jimmy John's delivery for Meal Diamond. Meal Diamond, I got a Jimmy John's delivery. Rude. Meal Diamond. Looking for Meal Diamond. It's Jimmy John's delivery. Meal Diamond, I'm looking for Meal Diamond. Whoa. Hi, I may not be Meal Diamond, but I do have his Meal Diamond deal from Jimmy John's. Made with extra helmets, just the way Meal Diamond likes it. So good. So good, yes! So good! So good! So good! So huge! The Meal Diamond deal, now available at Jimmy John's.
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows. Call 231-633-9430.
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Carter & Associates of Farm Bureau Insurance Agency pregame show. I'm Shane Smith. Charles Strail, you might wonder, where did he go? He's down over at the St. Francis dugout. He'll be getting an interview with one of the coaches here in just a few moments. But in the meantime, I've got a couple more things that we can briefly talk about until St. Francis gets back towards the dugout. First off, as we mentioned just before the break, the keys to the game here for Kalamazoo Christian is they're going to have to play an immaculate game. Charles mentioned fewer than 2 errors across the entire game. I would have to agree. St. Francis is just too fast of a team that they can really capitalize getting an extra base, sometimes two with speed of players like John St. Peter, for example, that will really put the hurt on you if you make the error. But I also want to mention some of the stronger batters for Kalamazoo Christian. We already know guys like Sam Wildfong for St. Francis and a couple of others there like John St. Peter, Tyler Thompson, so on. Those are some of your bigger batters to keep an eye on. But 3 guys here for Kalamazoo Christian all have above 370 batting averages, all have hit for plenty of extra power, and some have even hit for some home runs. We've got Jake Bonema, who comes into this game with a 437 batting average, one of the highest between both teams all season long. Following right behind him, another player with above 400 average, and he's going to be batting third. Jake Bonema batting second. Crosby Kroll is going to be batting third. He's coming into this game with a 411 average. And then finally, James Annan with a 370. A couple of them hit for some home runs as well. So with that, Charles just gave us the word. He's got one of our coaches for St. Francis lined up and ready to go, so we're going to send it down to him. Charles, take it away.
Well, hey, thanks, Shane. We got assistant coach Joe Pellamera here joining me just briefly. He's handing over the final lineup card. They're making some discussions down here in the dugout, so we're going to have to pause that a little bit for the much anticipated interview to kind of see what is the Gladiators' mental approach right now. But as I have you, and as you have me here, just reporting, I just checked on my weather app. field conditions right now about 83 degrees. So both teams will be dealing with some hot morning temperatures.
No doubt about it. And there's still some of that mugginess in the air as well. Not quite to the extent that we had this past Thursday before all those storms rolled in, but it is a bit of a muggy one out there. So plenty of, not only for the players, but for the fans as well. Make sure to get plenty of hydration out there. We don't want any cramping today.
Absolutely, Shane. I mean, just getting down here, seeing the infield, I will say the grounds crew, I cannot commend enough. This field is in such great shape. Just 20 minutes after the conclusion of that Division II state championship game, it looks like a completely new field.
I know. I wish we could put the wide-angle camera view up here in the booth that we'll be using as one of our highlight video sources later on. It's got a beautiful view of this field. I mean, you got the striping out there in the outfield, the freshly painted lines here on the baseball diamond. It's a thing of beauty here at the Jeff Ishbia Field at McLean Stadium in Michigan State, East Lansing. Beautiful facility for this state finals to be played. We just saw the first game wrap up a little bit ago. Again, what a thriller that was. Orchard Lake St. Mary in Division II won that one in extra innings, 6-4. St. Francis here trying to repeat the same amount of drama and give us here a good game to call, and you folks at Helma a good game to listen to. That's what we certainly hope for. Charles, how are things down there?
We're still waiting, but Shane, while we have time to talk, we want to talk about the right center field mound that they have here.
That is very true, yeah.
I mean, both teams, well, I should say Kalamazoo Christian, this is their second game being played here. Traverse City St. Francis, their fourth game in 2 years. So for those center fielders and right fielders, it makes a tremendous difference on any ball hit hard in the air. Also wanted to update, very minimal wind down here on the field. If any, it's blowing out to right field. So anything hit in center field might carry to right, which that mound could seriously make an impact in the game as well, Shane.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The height of that mound, which starts from just right of straightaway center all the way over beyond the right field foul pole, gets to be about 5 feet tall as we see some of the players out there standing in front of it. So it's a pretty decent hill to be able to climb them up. And again, as you said, St. Francis players are used to it. They've seen this wall. A lot of them have seen it now 4 times in the last 2 years with 4 games played here. But that's not only something that the players have to watch out for in terms of having to run up if you're feeling a long fly ball or one that drops safely, but also, speaking of long distances, the dimensions of this field are greatly enhanced compared to what you would normally face at a high school stadium. Most high school stadiums, the ballpark straightaway center right around that 350, 360, maybe 370 range at the higher end. But to the corners, you're already looking at 340 feet to the corners of the field. Left center is 375 feet, so left center is already longer than most, if not all, high school ball fields. Straightaway center is breaking 400, coming in at 403 feet. Right center is at 385, and again, like I said, the corners at 340. So not only do you have the hill on the right side of the field to have to work with along the warning track, but you also have a much greater distance by 40 to 50 plus feet out into the outfield. We have not seen a home run hit here yet. There's been a couple that have worked their way towards the fence, bounced off. In fact, John St. Peter had one that curved its way all the way over to the 340-foot marker in the left field corner. Touched the wall there, but that's the closest one that we've gotten. Otherwise, everything falls safely at about the 340, 350 mark, which, again, for the outfield conditions here, Charles, is about half to 2/3 of the way out there.
Yeah, absolutely, Shane. And now the wind's starting to pick up as well. I mean, I'm feeling it down here. You can probably hear it through my microphone as these gusts are picking up. And one of the things, as I look all the way down the left field line, we have a flagpole out on the softball field, and the wind is definitely picking up down the left field line as well. So something to keep an eye on as this game continues to progress. I would imagine that this wind will continue to climb as we get into the later innings of this game.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. Today was forecasted to be a windy afternoon. Sustained winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour. We could see gusts top 30, depending on how things shape up today. So that could definitely play a factor in the latter stages of this game. And as Charles mentioned a few moments ago, it's blowing directly across from left to right field. So that'll be making the right fielder have to work a little extra, I would have to say, as he is going to have to really track the ball hard here, especially with now the sun almost straight above the field. Not only will he have the sun to work with directly in his eyes, but also the wind pushing the ball well off to his right.
Well, Shane, I've got assistant coach Joe down here with me on the field, and, well, we have an opportunity to get this interview in. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in so far on the broadcast. It's Charles Trail along with assistant coach Joe Pellamera. Joe, obviously, second time in 2 years being in this position in this championship game. What have you seen from your team that might allow them to quickly benefit in the first couple of innings?
Looks like we may have briefly lost Charles there. It was coming in clearly, and instantly there it dropped off. Maybe we can see if we can reestablish the connection. Transmitter is working well. Charles, do you copy by chance? Well, whoop, we had him briefly. Watch out, sorry, we apologize for the hand there, ladies and gentlemen. Producer Zach is working here to try and get this resolved.
Which way you want to go? I go this way?
Charles, do you copy? We hear some.
Yeah,
there we go.
You,
I got you.
So I'm going to summarize what had.
And just like that, we lost him. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step aside for a quick commercial break, and hopefully we can get Charles back up here and continue this with him in the booth with us. We apologize there. Everything was working great before the interview. We had multiple trial runs, and just like that, it went. So we apologize. We'll come back with the starting lineups in just a few moments.
Why are people switching to Surf Internet? They want faster speeds, reliable service, and no hassles. Make the switch today and enjoy Surf's fiber-fast internet like these customers do. Fiber-fast internet plans start at just $30 a month with no contracts and all-in pricing. Visit surfinternet.com.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency at Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
All right, guys, here's what we get.
BC Pizza, hometown handmade gourmet.
Coach, what do we do? We get BC Pizza.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza.
A Jimmy John's delivery for Meal Diamond. Meal Diamond, I got a Jimmy John's delivery. Rude. Meal Diamond. Looking for Meal Diamond. It's Jimmy John's delivery. Meal Diamond. I'm looking for Meal Diamond. Whoa. Hi, I may not be Meal Diamond, but I do have his Meal Diamond deal from Jimmy John's. Made with extra helmets, just the way Meal Diamond likes it. So good. So good, yes. So good. So good. So good. So huge. The Meal Diamond deal. Now available at Jimmy John's.
Alrighty, welcome back into the Scott Carter and Associates of Farm Bureau Agency pregame show. Shane Smith, Charles Trail. Charles just came back up here with his elephant memory. He's going to recount things that he talked about with St. Francis there. We apologize for the random technical difficulty there, but Charles, take it away.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to talk with assistant coach Joe Pellamera, and I just asked him, I said, in general terms, what type of advantages are there within like the first 3 innings of a game, having played here last year in this environment, and how do you anticipate that your team will react? And he said, and very elegantly stating that they only talk baseball when it's time for baseball. They came down on Thursday, played Thursday, stayed here throughout the last 72 hours. And when they're practicing, they're doing baseball. When they're not, they're allowing these kids to be kids. And they said they really want to just make sure that they keep their head where their feet are. And wherever they're at, so like right now their head's on the baseball diamond. If their head's at the hotel, let them be 16, 17, 18-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way just of the mindset and mentality of the coaching staff to have the realistic viewpoint that there's a lot of things going on in the mind of a 17 or 18-year-old student.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these are out of school, trying to work with their summer employer about how to get more time off before this game starts. Some of them just got out of school. Some of them are trying to weigh their options, whether they're waitlisted in college. Are they going to get in somewhere? Are they going to have to go somewhere else? But when they're on the baseball field, they're about baseball. So I think that really goes a long way just to showing that the mentality of the coaches is the same of the players. And I think that makes it easy to relate and be able to understand and then have good communication.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing I'd have to say that this team is excellent at. If nothing else, is communication. We almost never see them have a fielding error on pop flies. They always call it out who's going to get it right away, and the catch is almost always made. There's been some excellent throws from our catcher today, who's going to be Colt Peterson once again to second baseman John St. Peter to get the out a number of different times on the stolen base path. I mean, these guys have worked through all scenarios time and time again. They're excellent at communication. They might as well be brothers at this point because they know what they're thinking and how things are going to go.
And I want to clarify, I misspoke earlier. Tyler Endress will be coming in and be available in relief duty. It will be Lance Voss, the starting pitcher for the Gladiators today, because he stayed under the pitching threshold on Thursday. So that was big for Varsity St. Francis to keep Lance underneath that pitching count, which allows him to pitch today and then have Tyler and the additional support of some of their other pitchers to be able to bring in relief as needed.
Sounds good. We're about ready to get underway with the starting lineups. Are we going to keep it here, Charles, for that, or are we going to send it to one more break?
Let's send it to one more break, come back so we can summarize the starting lineups. State championship baseball is about to start after this.
Why are people switching to Surf Internet? They want faster speeds, reliable service, and no hassles. Make the switch today and enjoy Surf's fiber-fast internet like these customers do. Fiber-fast internet plans start at just $30 a month with no contracts and all-in pricing. Visit surfinternet.com.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
Hey, it's Troy with That's a Pizza. You're watching Gladiator football on Next Level Broadcasting.
Oh, now that's a pizza.
A Jimmy John's delivery for Meal Diamond. Meal Diamond, I got a Jimmy John's delivery. Rude. Meal Diamond. Looking for Meal Diamond. I have Jimmy John's delivery. Meal Diamond. I'm looking for Meal Diamond. Whoa. Hi, I may not be Meal Diamond, but I do have his Meal Diamond deal from Jimmy John's. Made with extra helmets, just the way Meal Diamond likes it. So good. So good, yes. So good. So good. So good. So huge. The Meal Diamond deal, now available at Jimmy John's.
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows. Call 231-633-9430.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
All right, guys, here's what we get.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza, hometown handmade gourmet.
Coach, what do we do? We get BC Pizza.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza.
Why are people switching to Surf Internet? They want faster speeds, reliable service, and no hassles. Make the switch today and enjoy Surf's fiber-fast internet like these customers do. Fiber-fast internet plans start at just $30 a month with no contracts and all-in pricing. Visit surfinternet.com.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. We are literally moments away from getting underway here at the state championship game in Division III between Traverse City St. Francis, the Gladiators taking on the Kalamazoo Christian Comets. The Gladiators are the home team in this game. They'll be taking the field first as we look to see what kind of bats the Comets have in store for us today.
Shane, you mentioned the hitting prowess of the Comets.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tested right away by starting pitcher Lance Voss for the Gladiators. He was on this mound on Thursday. Looks like he's got his stuff out there working, and it'll be interesting to see, as I said, and I don't want to really hammer this or belabor the point, but the first 3 innings are going to be so critical for the Kalamazoo Christian Comets this afternoon.
No doubt about it. Our first batter up today for Kalamazoo Christian will be Mr. Matt Rohr. He comes into this game with a respectable batting average so far this year. There he is, just a shade under 300 on the season so far, with 24 RBIs this year. No doubles, but he does have a couple of triples under his belt, so he can knock it out there a ways, no doubt.
Anytime you can see somebody with a triple on their stat sheet for the year, and now they're getting an opportunity to play at McLean Stadium at Michigan State University. Look out to left center and right center field. If you find those gaps or if you hit anything down the line into the deep corner, particularly right field, make that right fielder run up a hill, and you're going to have an opportunity to stretch that double into a triple, especially for the young man stepping into the left-hander's batter's box.
That's right. You might say, Charles, anybody over there on the right field area trying to field one might have an uphill battle.
Yeah, you could definitely say that.
Track. All right, puns aside, we are going to get underway. Lance Voss on the first offering of the game. Fires one down the middle for strike one. Good crowd at hand here for the St. Francis faithful. In fact, I think they outweigh the what's near home field advantage Kalamazoo Christian Comets side. That one just a little high and away for ball one. On the 1-1 here. That one catches this. Oh, no, he did just catch the upper outside corner there. That'll be for strike two.
So Voss working very quickly, Shane.
Yes.
Trying to establish that rhythm early.
On the 1-2, just outside, tried to goad Rohr into taking a swing on that one.
Let's see if he uses that pitch as a setup pitch and maybe comes back inside after that one being on the outside.
On the 2-2 count. Nope, that'll be ball three. Everybody thought that was going to be a strike, but we've filled up the count here, 3-2. On the full count, there's a chopper. That'll get over to John St. Peter. He ranges over, makes the throw. Plenty of time by about 4 steps for out number one this game. And that's something that Lance Voss and the Gladiators really relied on for a fair portion of the game on Thursday against Rochester Hills Northwest Lutheran, was the defensive efforts of the rest of the fielding. The strikeout count wasn't high, but he relied on his outfielders. He relied on his second baseman, John St. Peter, his shortstop, Tyler Thompson. Those guys really came in the big moments and made the throws over to first, second, choose your pick there, and did a fine job in the Thursday game. First pitch will be strike one. Catches the lower rung there.
That's the second time Voss has gotten the call on the outer part of the plate. The top of the order, both left-handed hitters for the Comets, as that one's going to go to right.
And the easy catch is made by Alex Jeter. Good job there. That was Jake Bonema, who is one of the big hitters for the Comets. In fact, the most accomplished hitter on the season. He came into this game with a .437 average, 27 RBIs, 2 doubles and a triple. No home runs, but this young man right here, Crosby Kroll, comes into this game. He's got the highest home run count on the season, 3 so far. So he's got a big bat with a .411 average, and he takes that one for strike one. All 3 batters Voss has faced so far, Charles, have gotten that first called strike on the first pitch. That'll be a high pop-up, ranging to center field, shallow center field, and the catch is made, Tommy Schaffler. Good job there. 3 up, 3 down for the Glads, Charles. That's exactly how you'd want to start it.
Starting hungry with the Jimmy John's freaky fast 1-2-3 inning.
There you go.
As Voss retires the side in order. Jimmy John's and Traverse City curing that hunger and curing the appetite in a freaky fast way, just as Voss and the Gladiators cured the appetite for the Comets to get out on the base pass. Shane, how many more puns do you think I have here?
Oh, I think we've got them all day.
Well, after going 3 up, 3 down, not how you would want to start if you're Kalamazoo Christian. However, you got an opportunity here to retire the Gladiators in the bottom of the first inning. I think the Gladiators might be able to really put on some pressure if they get 1, maybe 2 runners on the base paths here in this first inning, Shane.
I have to agree. And one silver lining here for the Comets' first time around at home plate is the fact that each and every batter got solid hits off of Lance Voss. He is a hittable pitcher. It just so happened they hit it. All 3 hits were to the wrong spots. He got it to a very able-bodied John St. Peter. Made the stop there and the throw over to first for the first out. Then you had a line drive straight into the glove of Alex Jeter. He had to step maybe 2 paces. And then Tommy Schaffler did a good job cleaning up the third pop fly into mid-center field, about 30 feet beyond the infield for out number 3. So, again, Voss relying on his teammates to get the outs.
Absolutely.
But, again, he is a hittable pitcher for the Comets. They just have to figure out a little bit better ball placement.
Sure. And, once around the order, they'll start to understand the methodology that Voss is throwing with, how his timing is, what his rhythm is on the mound, and begin starting to get a feel for what's a fastball, what's an off-speed pitch, and how it looks coming out of his hands. If there's anything of significance that they can kind of see and then start to calculate off of that delivery.
All right, well, that will pretty much bring us up here as they've got one last little pep talk here at the mound. Our starting batter for the Gladiators today will be Colt Peterson. We'll have to pull up the stats from the last game that these St. Francis Gladiators played, but I know Colt Peterson had a little bit of difficulties there in that first game. I don't believe he had a hit of his own. He did reach on a walk and possibly an error, if I'm not mistaken. But that was about it. So we'll see if he can really lay the barrel of the bat on the ball today. Logan Biddle, the starting pitcher for the Comets. And that was a foul ball that went screaming right into the Gladiator dugout. Thankfully, nobody was hit by the looks of it. And if anything, I think that fired up the Gladiators in there. Now they're all screaming and cheering.
That'll wake you up. That's
That
an
will.
early, mid-morning, early afternoon wake-up call here, Shane, as it's now into the afternoon hour.
Exactly. Nothing beats the adrenaline rush like having a screaming foul ball into the dugout. That does better than any cup of coffee would, that's for sure. That'll be a swinging strike 2 now on Colt Peterson. Logan Biddle looking to get the first strikeout of the game for either side. On the 0-2. That'll be chopped over the glove of Biddle, and Colt Peterson will get there safely. He thought about it, rounded first, took about a half dozen steps, and decides to trot on back, Charles.
Well, the law of averages is starting to provide its worth and value right now. Colton Peterson had a tough semifinal, but this time the leadoff hitter with a single getting on base right away for the Gladiators. Now starting to set the table and allow that pressure to mount on this Comet defense, Shane, that the Glads are able to mount one, maybe even 2 more runners on the base paths.
All right, we got Tyler Thompson coming up into this game. He's one of the stronger hitters for the Gladiators, coming into this with a .382 batting average. He's got 7 triples on the season. I'm sorry, that was Lance Voss. He's got 3 doubles, though, however, on the season so far. The swinging strike 1 here against Thompson. Biddle looking down, trying to stare down Colt Peterson, who has a healthy lead off of first. He'll go for the pitch instead, and that's a squared up bunt by Thompson. And that'll advance Colt Peterson safely to second. The first out is made, however, the throw over to first in plenty of time.
Yeah, just doing a good job of playing situational baseball there, advancing the runner 90 feet up to second base, and that puts the runner in scoring position now for Lance Voss, an opportunity for the starting pitcher for the Gladiators to help his own cause with an RBI. A single here, either to right or left field, likely scores a run.
And this is the case. He does have 7 triples and 3 doubles on the season, so Voss can really put it out there, and there's plenty of room to work with in this outfield of Jeff Ishbia Field at McLean Stadium in East Lansing. First pitch high and away for ball 1. Logan Biddle yet to record a strikeout. He almost had one there against Colt Peterson, but on what would have been strike 3, he was able to pop it up right over the glove of Biddle there and split the gap between second and shortstop. Swing and a miss for the fences. That was a high pitch, though. It'll be strike 1. 1-1 count here.
Yeah, Biddle really reached back for that fastball, Shane. Had some extra velocity on that. Maybe now that he's in a jam, he's able to get a little more juice on that heater.
Well, if there's anybody that knows juice on a fastball, it would be Lance Voss, let me tell you. On the 1-1. Check swing, appeal down to first. And that will be called a strike.
Lance Voss was trying to get timeout issued in the batter's box there. He put his right hand up. Was not granted to him, however.
There's one thing the Gladiators are good at doing is calling a timeout right in the middle of the windup from a pitcher. Umpire did not like it there. So it'll be a 1-2 count with 1 out. Voss takes that one helmet high for ball 2.
As I said earlier, Shane, a base hit here likely scores a run. Infield playing medium depth.
The wind has changed directions, is now blowing almost directly from behind home plate, so a well-placed, well, Lance Voss won't have to worry about making a line drive anywhere because he took that one square between the shoulder blades and gets to first.
Yeah, it was an off-speed breaking ball pitch, and if you're going to take one, that's the one to take. Definitely less velocity on that pitch as opposed to the fastball that we've seen offered by Biddle. And they're going to bring out a special pinch runner now, are the Gladiators. Get some speed on the base paths.
Yes, indeed. If we're keeping with tradition, we'll see his number here in a moment, but that should be 24, Jay McNowski.
It is.
Okay. And he's done a phenomenal job on the base path so far this postseason from what I've seen. But we've got the big gun, Sam Wildfong, up to bat now.
What's his name, Shane?
The big gun.
No, Slammin' Sammy.
Oh, well, that's right. You're familiar with that term. Pitcher going to take a moment to think about things. He's got a lot on his mind right now. 2 runners on the pads here for St. Francis, and one of the best hitters in Division III with Sam Wildfong is up to the plate now. Ooh, he wanted to take a chop at that one. Cut just a little bit above the sinking ball there for foul ball and strike number 1. Wildfong with a .526 average on the season. I don't know how that's possible. That's just an absurd number.
I'll tell you how it's possible. You hit the ball more times than you don't.
Well, you know what, Charles? That's a fair estimate. I'll give you that one. He's got 1 home run on the season, 15 doubles so far. Biddle wants to throw it down to second. Instead, puts one, that'll be just a little bit high for ball 1. Right down the middle, but about shoulder high.
So for the Gladiators, you've got the cleanup hitter at the plate, 2 runners on the bases. Not the situation you wanted to find yourselves in if you're Kalamazoo Christian in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, and if you're the Gladiators, you're also happy because guaranteed up to bat, barring a double play, is going to be John St. Peter, who has been probably the star hitter in the playoffs so far. And that one gets past shortstop Matt Rohr's glove as he makes the jump. Everybody advances to their next base safely. And John St. Peter comes up with only 1 out, and the bases are fully loaded.
You know, baseball is a game of inches, as are many sports, as you hear the old adage used so frequently. And at that time, Matt Rohr, man, he was inches away.
Oh.
You know, spend a couple more hours on the Vertimax machine over the offseason, and he'll probably make that catch next year, Shane.
Yeah, no doubt about it. If he would have made that catch, that probably would have been the inning-ending double play that they were looking for. But about the worst-case scenario came out of that. Bases loaded with the most reliable hitter this postseason so far with John St. Peter now up to bat. Again, he had that 2 RBI triple to get the fireworks really going in that Thursday game. On the first offering here from Biddle, throws that one high and away. Ball 1.
Yeah, St. Peter on deck, Alex Jeter in the batter's box here. Wondering if the Gladiators would attempt triple steal, Shane.
They might. I got so excited, I fully forgot. It's Braxton Lisinski. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. You handled that very well, Charles. Braxton Lisinski up to bat now. Oh, boy. Well, there. I guess we're tit for tat. We each have a mistake so far in the call. Okay, back into it. Braxton Lisinski ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Biddle does find the strike zone there. 2-1 count. Now, it's been a couple pitches since he'd gotten one right there where he wanted it.
2-1 count. Yeah, Lisinski still ahead. And with the bases full, Biddle, you got to throw your best pitch a couple of times consecutively. I like that.
Yeah, that was a beauty. Lisinski took a big hack at it. Evens up the count now 2 apiece. On the 2-2, that one is going to be just below the strike zone. Fills up the count. Big pitch here for Biddle. Bases loaded. Full count for Braxton Lisinski. He'll take that one low and away, and off a walk, we're going to have the first run scored here for the Glads. Catcher today, Jace Rarick, coming up now to talk to Logan Biddle, try and settle things down. The situation has indeed not improved for the Comets. Still bases loaded, and now it is. As I put the cart before the horse, it is now John St. Peter up to bat, with still only one out.
Evan Bellinger waiting on deck for the Gladiators. The situation stays the same right now as John St. Peter steps into the batter's box, bases loaded, just as the previous hitter Braxton Lisinski had. So, and right now the Gladiators have created a lefty-righty matchup in the batter's box. So let's see if St. Peter can take advantage of that. Seeing the ball for a split second longer is why that left-handed hitter has an advantage against a right-handed pitcher.
Well, everybody's staying in the same position that they are for the moment. Just a long conversation with starting pitcher Logan Biddle. Try and keep his confidence up here again. This is the first time any member of this team has seen the McLean Stadium for the state championship for the Comets, including, of course, the head coach for the squad. This is his first year. So the Comets are facing some jitters, are facing the toughest competition they have likely seen all season long, with the Gladiators, of course, ranked #1 in the state. Division III. The first pitch, swing and a miss from John St. Peter. Nice stuff there from Biddle.
Juice.
Wow. If that's right, that came in at 88 miles per hour.
That thing had some velocity on there, Shane.
Yes. And there's the hit St. Peter was looking for, although it falls right into the glove of left fielder Jackson Herder. However, that does bring home runners for the Glads.
Yeah, Mignowski doing a good job of tagging up there, Shane.
Yeah.
It was a very routine play to left, however, deep enough, and the ball was hit pretty well by John St. Peter, which allowed Mignowski, he's a speedy, fleet-of-foot athlete, to get home 90 feet to put the second run on the board for the Gladiators.
2-0 is the score. Gladiators now have their second out as designated hitter Evan Bellinger comes into the batter's box.
And he's got power to left field, Shane. So if he's able to turn on one and pull something down the third base line, it could spell trouble for the Comets.
He has had a quiet postseason, but you're exactly right. I mean, just looking at his frame, stands right around 6 foot tall. Well-built, muscular fellow. He can definitely poke it deep into the field if he can locate the ball in the strike zone here. He's had a little bit of trouble again doing that so far this postseason, but better late than never, especially with 2 guys on base and already a 2-0 lead here in the state championship. Ooh. Peel down to first, and that is going to be a strike. He didn't pull up on it in time. A ball and a strike here against Bellinger. Bellinger with a modest .250 batting average so far on the season. He's got 24 RBIs to his tally, though. On the 1-1, swing and a miss for strike 2. 79 miles an hour on that one.
So you see the fastball right now for Biddle, Shane, in the range of 79 to 89. That might have been a changeup there, but we know that he can really reach back and throw it.
One more pitch here for Biddle and the rest of the Comets to limit damage to just 2 runs in this inning, which, all things considered, having the bases loaded, that's about as good as you can get. Once again, we're going to look down to first base umpire, and Bellinger, I didn't think he did not cross the plate there on that check swing, so we'll even the count up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, right now, infield playing deep for the Comets, Shane, just making sure that they're able to gobble up anything hit.
On the 2-2, there's the first strikeout of the day for Mr. Biddle. Fine job there. 2 runs scored for the Glads, however, so some damage is done. We'll see if the Comets have a rebuttal coming up as we go through their 4, 5, and 6 batters up to the plate here in just a few moments. But first, we're going to step aside for our first commercial break this game. We'll be back in about 60 seconds.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. St. Francis scores 2 in the bottom of the first. They come back up to the defensive side of the field. Lance Voss yet to record a strikeout through his first 3 batters so far this game, but has relied on the excellent defensive efforts of his teammates. Second baseman John St. Peter recorded the first throw down to first for the out, followed by Alex Jeter caught a line drive right to his glove in right field, and then Tommy Schaffler cleaned things up in mid-center field off a pop fly from Crosby Kroll. Up to bat now, James Annan for the Comets takes that one well outside the strike zone for ball 1. Annan with a .370 batting average, good for third best on the team, batting in the 4 spot. He'll swing at that one and miss there. 27 RBIs on the season, 5 doubles, no home runs so far. Count is 1-1. Again, Voss, I think, lost control of that one a little bit as that was about 1.5 feet outside the strike zone, Charles.
So far when he's missed, Shane, it's been away from these left-handed hitters. Already the 3rd lefty he's faced in the Kalamazoo Christian lineup, Shane.
That one does get away from catcher Colt Peterson, just tips off the top of his glove and rolls off towards the Comet dugout. Thankfully, nobody's on base to pay for that. Annan ahead in the count, 3-1. He'll chop that one right to shortstop Thompson. He gathers it up, makes the throw, 3 steps ahead of Annan for out number 1 this inning.
You look at the middle infielders for the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators. You're looking at St. Peter and Thompson and Lisinski, third base, shortstop, and second base respectively. Anything that's routine hit to them is going to find the glove of Sam Wildfong over on the other side of the diamond.
Yeah, and he is a star. Thankfully, they got him back. He was injured after the regional final game back this past Saturday against Sanford Meridian. He had a right shoulder muscle strain. Thankfully,
that Wildfong, that is?
Yep.
Okay.
Thankfully, he was all better and able to come out and play this finals weekend between both the semifinal and final. All right, we got a 1-1 count now against Jace Rarick, batting in the 5 spot today for the Comets. There's one catching the lower right corner there. Yeah, so strike 2.
The off-speed pitch coming in at 68 miles per hour, Shane. The curve ball doing a good job of freezing Rarick.
1-2 count for Voss, looking for his first strikeout through 5 batters. That one way outside. For ball 2. That one was almost outside of the left batter's box. Rarick gets right up in the strike zone. His right foot, in fact, gets across the batter's box line. Stands about as close as I've ever seen a batter. And he'll take that one for ball 3, fills up the count. And that'll be ball 4, the first walk of the day allowed by Voss, and the first base runner for the Comets. Rarick takes his spot over there at first.
Yeah, now an opportunity for the Comets to start to feel a little momentum. If they can get another runner on base, Shane, after Rarick draws the base on balls and the free pass down to first base. And yet again, another left-handed hitter. This is the 4th lefty in the lineup for Kalamazoo Christian.
Yep, this is Noah Zichterman, 277 average on the season. Does hit for some decent power, 6 doubles and a couple of triples to his tally so far. That one just misses the outside corner for ball 1.
Let's see if Kalamazoo Christian starts to change their approach at the plate, Shane. Lance Voss has had some trouble with accuracy so far. Does that make Kalamazoo Christian a little more patient at the dish?
I would say so, and we saw in the first inning all 3 batters that he faced were able to make good, solid contact. Again, off of Voss, he is a hittable pitcher. He's also a bit of a streaky pitcher. He can have, back-to-back strikeouts and 6 pitches, and then he can also walk a couple guys. So it all depends here. He's once again behind in the count 2-0. See if he's able to reel it in on this pitch. Yeah, that one is called for a strike. There it is.
He's gotten that outside corner call against these left-handed hitters all game long so far through, I believe, 7 hitters, Shane. So let's see if he's able to continue to establish that and then kind of work back in, because when he's missed away from these hitters.
Yes. And now a big miss would advance a runner into scoring position. And that'll be called strike 2. Evens up the count. There's that same spot once again. You called it, Charles. He's working that outside corner. Rarick, the lone base runner so far today for the Comets. About a 3-step lead off from first, and that is a checked swing that just crossed home plate for the first strikeout of the day for Lance Voss, sending Zichterman back to the dugout. All right, Logan Biddle, your starting pitcher today for the Comets, comes up now to face his opponent. 2 outs and 1 man on for the Comets still. Biddle swings under that one for strike 1.
Comets going to try to get a special pinch runner here, and as they do that, it will bring out from the dugout here
Chase Bonema.
It's interesting when they allowed that, Shane, already after the first pitch had been thrown in the count against the hitter.
I agree. We'll see if he's able to. He looks to be a speedy guy. Work his magic out there on the base paths, but he's going to have limited time to do so. As Logan Biddle hits that one well followed, gets back behind the high stands here at McLean Stadium, and now falls behind in the count 0-2. See if Voss here can get back-to-back strikeouts. Like I called just a moment ago. Nope, high and away. All right. That one's about chin high there for ball 1. Be a 1-2 count. Voss going to take a moment, steps off the mound, gathers himself back up, gets a new game plan. In the windup, a quick pitch, and that'll be chopped right into the glove of Tyler Thompson to retire the side. Charles, you couldn't have asked for a better hit than that.
How about that? I mean, Lance Voss really reached back. That one touched 80 miles an hour on our radar gun, but Thompson, whether it was scouting report related or whatever, he was able to be in the proper spot there, Shane, to be able to react and get to that ball immediately.
Phenomenal job by him. Got over there, made a couple of quick steps to grab it out of the air. And we're getting word from John, the head of the NFHS MHSAA collaboration, letting us know that we're going to have to consolidate our space usage in this booth, as there are 2 radio stations coming in for the next game. So we'll see if we can do that probably between innings coming up, start consolidating a little bit. Charles, there's always a little something in the air for excitement and drama here in a state championship game, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, right now the excitement is the web gem that Tyler Thompson just made out there. Lance Voss said, here it is, hit it. Biddle hit it. And that was the second hard hit ball that we've seen so far. And squared it up right to the glove of Tyler Thompson. Thompson did a good job of reacting to that, making a nice play.
Just as we've seen him do all postseason long. Up to bat here in just a few moments is the number 8 batter in the lineup, Alex Jeter, for the Glads. Alex Jeter here, he's got 5 doubles, 3 triples on the season. So, again, another very capable batter. And we saw him with some success. In fact, the bottom of the lineup had a lot of success back on Thursday in the state semifinal game. Jeter and Daziak both poked the ball into the outfield a number of times. So we'll see if they can continue that success here and set things up well for the top of the order with Colt Peterson once again in the batting third this inning. Jeter with just under a 400 batting average on the season as well.
One of 2 lefties to come to the plate so far against Biddle. First one was John St. Peter. St. Peter lined out, but had an RBI in that bat on a sacrifice fly. Let's see what Alex Jetter's capable of doing.
First pitch from Biddle was a ball. Now this will be hit foul and goes between the dugout and the stands over there for strike 1 against Jeter. Jeter takes a moment, calls time. Steps back into the batter's box. 1-1 count so far. Holds the bat square up over his shoulder, almost straight up at a 90-degree angle until he goes into his swing. That one there, he whiffs on it for strike 2. Biddle did record a strikeout in the previous inning. And this will be a short pop-up into left field, caught nicely there by Jackson Herder. It's the second line out we've seen today from the Glads. Went about, we call that about 250 feet into mid-depth left field. Up to bat now, number 5 and number 9 in the lineup, Ethan Daziak.
Yeah, you can see Shane Biddle looks to be more comfortable working from the windup as opposed to the stretch. And when you get into rhythm, work from one delivery versus the other delivery, it can really shake things up and impact how you feel when pitching, as he's really letting it fly right now as he pours that one in for a strike and swing and a miss.
Yes, indeed. Daziak with a 246 average on the season. So, of course, the lowest in the 9 spot of his teammates, but he has had 5 doubles so far on the season, so he still can poke it out there. Be a nice way to get things going here. Good base hit. 2-1's the count. Swing and a miss there. That was a high one.
Change up at 72 miles an hour, just enough to get Daziak off balance, Shane.
Indeed, he did. 2-2's the count. 1 out so far against the Glads. That one is going to be rung up for strike 2. Just caught the outside lower corner. And Mr. Biddle now has 2 strikeouts on the day, 1 walk. So we go back to the top of the order. 2 outs for Colt Peterson. Peterson did have that base hit to begin things right off the bat, no pun intended, in the first inning. Takes that one high and away for ball 1.
You had that one written on your notes, Shane. You were going to use that one sometime today.
Sometime. On the 1-0, that one is going to be low and away. Okay, I was waiting for it. I'm like, what are we calling here? So that is going to be for ball 2. I guess. Yeah. Our producer, Zach Lattis Kennedy, making a good point. This umpire does like the dramatics, and we're going to continue the dramatics of this game. Oh, it just curves foul about 270 feet down the left field line. Curves foul by about 8 feet, and that will bring Colt Peterson back off of what would have been a beauty. Easily a double for his speed.
Yeah, definitely extra base power in the bat of Peterson. And he was out in front of that one on the 2-0 count. He was ready for that fastball just a little bit early.
The wind has died down from what it was earlier, at least for the moment. So here we go, the 2-1. Now it's going to be high and away. Good hitters count, 3-1 coming up for Peterson. What breeze there is, it's been frequently changing directions from directly behind home plate to blowing left to right across the field. That'll be a ground ball chopped foul beyond third base.
So on the throws that Peterson has made contact on, Shane, he's been out in front. So as a hitter, what you got to do is just wait a little bit longer on that fastball. But then you also don't want to miss time it if he throws a curveball.
On the 3-2, that one's going to go well over the glove of Jace Rarick, the catcher for the Comets. And just when they thought they could get a 1-2-3 inning, out-of-control pitch there gets Colt Peterson safely to first. Gladiators keep this inning alive with Thompson back up to bat now.
Shane, many people will say hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in all the sports. And when you look at the way that these pitchers have been developed, I would have to agree and totally concur. I mean, there's so many different windups, deliveries, throwing angles, pitches that players can master, whether one person throws a curveball from an 8-foot release point if they're taller in stature, or if someone throws a curveball from a 3/4 or sidearm delivery. You know, hitting such a challenging task.
Whew. Little chin music there for Tyler Thompson, as Colt Peterson now has taken 2 substantial leads off of first. Biddle threw down to keep him honest the first time, and then again after this out-of-control ball that nearly clipped Thompson's helmet, catcher Rarick threw it down to first baseman Annan just in time. Was Thompson. He was about a hand ahead of the throw from getting out. Thompson works ahead of the count here, 2-0. See what Biddle has in his bag of tricks here to try and retire the side with no runs allowed. Colt Peterson gonna take his base. Stealing hardly has to slide. The throwdown was right on line, just a little bit behind Peterson. So now we've got a runner in scoring position for Thompson, who can look at about any pitch he wants and select his favorite here, as he's ahead in the count 3-0.
I'd say he's probably just going to take all the way, Shane, unless it's absolutely perfect.
And the 3-0, yep, there it is. Came across at about his shoulders, and now we've got 2 base runners on for the Glads, as Lance Voss struts his way up to the mound.
Shane, you can see the rhythm of Biddle starting to be disrupted, whether working now from the stretch as opposed to the windup earlier when he was able to record those 2 outs consecutively. Now working from the windup, the stretch, it just seems like something is off.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's getting a little bit more flustered, as he has thrown in his last 9 pitches. He's thrown 6 balls, only 3 strikes. Quick little conversation between Rarick and Biddle here. Try and get things back under wraps for the Comets. Not in grave danger yet, as runners are only at first and second, but Lance Voss is someone that'll make you pay for the wrong pitch. But they only need 1 out. And now the whole infield is going to come out, as well as the head coach for the Comets here. I do want to get his name. There is Russ Meyer. This may be the end of the day for Biddle, depending on how things go here. He struggled through the first 2 innings, only an inning and 2/3 pitched for him at the moment.
Shane, I think they're going to stick with their guy. Right now, you bring the whole infield in. This is, in my mind, nowhere near pitching change conversation. This is all about getting everyone on the same page with how they want to attack Lance Voss. Obviously, you have runners on first and second. You want to brief your team that, like, hey, if they have a double steal, you likely don't want to throw down to second base, Shane, because a pass ball getting into center would likely score the runner. So just overall, I would say game plan management by Kalamazoo Christian here in a fresh count versus Lance Voss. Voss is 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch so far in the game.
Meyer put a hand on the shoulder and gave some encouraging words to his pitcher, Biddle. See if that was enough here to calm things down. Woo. Nearly hit Lance Voss again. That one just brushed by his shoulder. Throw down to second. Was close. But Peterson slid in just in time.
That was a quick move by Biddle on the mound, Shane.
Yeah.
Quick 180 spin, turn, fire, and that's just enough to keep Peterson honest at second.
And credit to the Comets here. Any lesser of a team that fast of a throw could have gotten past second baseman Bonneman. Yes, we'll take ball 2 here. Another one causes Voss to turn away.
Yeah, 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Gladiators with a chance here to really add some more buffer. You know, a deep double probably scores 2.
Mm-hmm. That one's going to be called on the bottom rung for strike 1.
And
2-1 count.
As I said earlier about the Comets hitting approach, does the Gladiator hitting approach change with some of the accuracy issue of the Kalamazoo Christian pitcher Biddle right now with back-to-back walks?
I mean, it definitely just allows them to feel completely comfortable in the box and just take their time. No hurry to try and get a swing going. As Voss calls time here, they can just select whatever pitch that they want and make contact at will at that point. But they have not been in any urgency so far in the batter's box this game. There's been no real pressure from the Glads to try and force anything out. Voss gets a hold of an inside one. That's going to go deep and bounces to the warning track, gets beyond left fielder Jackson Herder, and that's going to bring home both base runners. The Gladiators take a 4-0 lead off a 2 RBI double by Voss.
How about that, Shane? Not like I'm able to predict things, but I did say a couple pitches prior that a deep double likely scores 2, given the speed on the base pass between Peterson and Thompson.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Voss put some serious lumber on that one, hit it all the way to the warning track, about 370 feet, and likely any other park, that's a home run.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I recall that up in Gladstone where Gladiators were for the regional final and quarterfinal, straightaway center was about 350 feet. So that would have been a home run at any point in that ballpark. And now it will be another conversation here at the mound.
So Lance Voss doing his thing on the mound and at the dish. So through 2 innings, Shane, he still hasn't given up a hit, only has a walk issued.
Yeah.
And now he's got a double, a hit by pitch, and 2 RBIs. And the Gladiators have doubled up their lead, now 4-0 over Kalamazoo Christian. And this is going to bring up the Culver Meadows pitching change. When life puts you in a jam, Culver Meadows comes in relief as we've got a change being made for the Comets.
Yeah, I guess I was one batter early on the pitching change. Still happened this inning. Bit of a tough way to end the day for Biddle. I mean, that's going to stick with him for a little while, but he's had a phenomenal season by all accounts, so nothing to hang his head on. Just working against a very strong St. Francis team, and it overpowered him a little bit. So we're going to have Jack Matheson.
No, Crosby Kroll.
Oh, Crosby.
I'm sorry, Shane. You looked at the wrong finger on the.
Your finger went right under Matheson. I don't know, Charles. I'll take the blame for that one, however. I probably did just.
Or just look out to the mound.
Or just look out to the mound. Yeah, there's his number coming into view. There we go, Crosby Kroll. Make the adjustment on the board.
I mean, this is a tough position, right? You got a runner on second base, nobody else on, but given the recent series of events, Kroll now has to try to come in and clean up, get out of this inning. Really just want to make sure that you put the ball, make the hitter put it in play. You've got 7 people behind you, 1 person in front of you at home plate. And considering yourself, you know, you like to think you're apt at fielding. Just make the Gladiators put this one in play. and then depend on your defenders. What you don't want to do here is make a mistake to Sam Wildfong, leave something out in the middle of the plate, like a hanging curveball or off-speed changeup, or just a fastball that keeps and catches too much of the plate. This is a dangerous hitter, Shane, as you said. He hits the ball more times than he doesn't, as he's got a above 500 batting average, which in baseball metrics is utterly absurd.
It is, truly. There's a simple change here. They bring Crosby Kroll to pitch, and Logan Biddle just goes over to third. No other changes across the field. Keeps things easy here in the tally books. And Charles, one thing that you mentioned in our pregame, it's all up in the first 3 innings as to how this game is really going to go. And so far through 1 2/3, the Gladiators are up 4-0. So if they maintain that score through the rest of this inning, then you'd like to think that the Comets need to get at least 2 runs in the third to really remain competitive in this game, with St. Francis already scoring 4.
Right. And you sit in a no ball, 2 strike count. So Kroll already 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam.
Ooh. The throw, is offline to second. In fact, that might have gone off of courtesy runner Jay McNowski for Voss. Might have hit off of his shoulder blade as he was sliding in. The throw was a little bit off target from Kroll.
I don't know if there was some hesitation there by Kroll. It appeared to be some miscommunication between the second baseman and the shortstop of whose bag it was to cover. Might have been the reason for the hesitation.
Indeed it was. On the 0-2, Wildfong's going to have a shallow pop-up foul by about 2 feet, but right there to take care of business was first baseman James Annan. So we've got deuces on the scoreboard so far for St. Francis, both through the first and second innings, scoring 2 runs each for a 4-0 lead. We're going to step aside as we work our way to the top of the third. Be back on the other side of this message from some of our sponsors.
Why are people switching to Surf Internet? They want faster speeds, reliable service, and no hassles. Make the switch today and enjoy Surf's fiber-fast internet like these customers do. Fiber-fast internet plans start at just $30 a month with no contracts and all-in pricing. Visit surfinternet.com.
A Jimmy John's delivery for Meal Diamond. Meal Diamond, I got a Jimmy John's delivery. Rude. Meal Diamond. Looking for Meal Diamond. It's Jimmy John's delivery. Meal Diamond, I'm looking for Meal Diamond. Whoa. Hi, I may not be Meal Diamond, but I do have his Meal Diamond deal from Jimmy John's. Made with extra Hellmann's, just the way Meal Diamond likes it. So good! So good, yes! So good! So good! So good! So huge! The Meal Diamond deal, now available at Jimmy John's.
Hey, it's Troy with That's a Pizza. You're watching Gladiator football on Next Level Broadcasting.
Oh, now that's a pizza.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, as we make our final adjustments here for 2 different radio stations to be working their way into our booth here momentarily to get set up for the Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart game in a little bit. But in the meantime, the Comets are back up to bat. See if they can at least score 2 runs this inning in order to keep some sort of pace and keep St. Francis within reach, as the Comets find themselves down 4-0. Lance Voss quickly works here through his first 2 pitches, going 3 pitches now, going 2 balls and a strike. That's going to be a high pop-up foul. Should be out of play for Colt Peterson, and indeed it is. Drops right in the first row of the stands. So now a 2-2 count. Voss with 1 strikeout and 1 walk allowed so far this game. And that's it. That was the only base runner, was the walk he had in the second inning so far for the Comets. On the 2-2,
Got him.
Got it, yes. Boy, another delayed call, but there it is. Strikeout number 2 of the day for Voss.
That outside corner against these left-handed hitters. Lance Voss has been finding it, establishing it, and making sure that he is getting to the continued benefit of that call.
Yeah, I can tell you like that one, Charles. It got you going there. That was exciting. All righty, 1 up, 1 down for the Comets. And a bunt attempt will go well foul. Hits off the backstop. This is number 10, Max Johnson. So we're just now at the 9th batter in the lineup, the first time through for the Comets before we can get back up to the top with Matt Rohr and Jake Bonema. That one's going to be called strike 2. Johnson falling behind here, 0-2 in the count. Voss looking to make quick work here at the bottom of the lineup and get his third strikeout of the day, second this inning. On the 0-2, that one's going to be just low and away. And we've got yet another ball. Voss, when he throws outside, it's way outside. That one was almost outside of the left-handed batter's box. And that'll be hit foul once again right over to the St. Francis dugout. This time it luckily does not go inside, bounces off the fence in front of it, so it will remain a 2-2 count.
Voss, still without a hit given up through 2 1/3 innings.
This one's going to be right over to our shortstop of the day, Tyler Thompson, who makes a nice play over to first baseman Sam Wildfong. Today was a good 2 steps ahead of Max Johnson there, and that will bring up out number 2 for the Comets.
It just makes it look so routine. I mean, that was not an easy play to make. Tyler Thompson has made one play that was routine, right to his glove.
Right.
That one was not something that the average day shortstop can make.
No. And this one might drop fair, and indeed it does. The first base hit of the day comes from leadoff hitter in the lineup, Matt Rohr. Charles gave it the old announcer's jinx there. First pitch from Lance Voss was lined into shallow center and allows for a single for Rohr.
What jinx did I give?
He said he had not allowed a hit so far today.
Yeah, and, up until Rohr, he hadn't.
Right, yeah. Bonema up to bat now. See what he can do. Again, this is the second time that in this game that the Comets have had a base runner. But both times it was also with 2 outs, so they have very little room for error as Voss makes the throw down to first. Wildfong puts the glove on Rohr, but he was safe by about a half second. 0-1 count for Bonema. That one high and outside.
Yeah, Voss tried to sneak an off-speed pitch there. It was 69 miles per hour on a changeup. Still trying to stay away from these left-handed hitters, Shane.
Mm-hmm. Again, throw down to first. Rohr safe. 1-1 count. 2 outs. 1 man on for the Comets. No runs scored so far through 2 2/3. This pitch will be chopped foul. Hits over the top of the Comet dugout. And will bring up the second strike now for Bonema.
And Lance Voss continuing to stay off speed, Shane. That one at 68 miles per hour. Maybe he's going to dial back in the fastball here after back-to-back off-speed pitches.
Be a fine time to see one of his 82, 83 mile an hour fastballs. It looked like that would have been it, but this one will get over to second baseman John St. Peter and makes the throw just in time to record the out as Jake Bonema crosses the plate. So with that, only 1 runner threatens for the Comets. Scoreless through 3 for Kalamazoo Christian as the Gladiators come back out and look to pile on here to the damage so far.
Yeah, doing a good job here as we're now approaching the bottom of the third inning in the exchange of this third, Shane. As I said earlier in the pregame, the first 3 innings will be critical for the Kalamazoo Christian Comets playing here on Championship Saturday. You really want to be able to get settled in, and I will say kudos to the Gladiators and Lance Voss for not allowing the Comets to feel at home here.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, this is pretty much home field for the Comets in terms of distance, but the Gladiators really feel comfortable at this one. I mean, this is the 4th time in just a couple of years that the Gladiators have played at this field. So everybody on the white and gold side feels quite comfortable here, and they're making it known as they've scored now a total of 17 runs through 9 2/3 innings of work here at this field so far this season.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of getting men on the bases and then bringing them home.
Yes.
I mean, 4 runs on 3 hits, Shane. That's pretty dang good. And then you look at Kalamazoo Christian, they haven't made any errors. Neither team.
No. And that goes to show, I mean, Kalamazoo Christian, for being a young team, for being a team that is not experienced here in the state championship playoff, they have earned their way all the way up to this game, no doubt about it. And we saw them come from behind in their state semifinal game just on Thursday, so you can't count them out yet by any stretch of the imagination. Not only have they come from behind, but they've also had very, very clean play so far on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, Shane, I think this will be a turning point inning. I really do. You have 2 consecutive innings where the Gladiators have put 2 runs up on the board. If Kalamazoo Christian wants to have any shot in this game, they need to slam the door here, because you have the Gladiators coming up, with the bottom half of the lineup for a pitcher who's only faced 1 batter right now. You really want to continue to establish a rhythm, because they're going to need to rely on Kroll for some extended innings, Shane.
No doubt. First swing, first contact made for Braxton Lisinski. Gets to first base safely. I should have said first pitch. First contact there by Braxton Lisinski. That was a great shot. Splits the difference between shortstop and third base. Dribbles into shallow left field. And we've got our first base runner with nobody outs. Nobody out for the Glads, as we've got John St. Peter back up to bat. He had a line out back in the first inning. Made it about 2/3 of the way into left field before left fielder Jackson Herder came up and made the catch. Again, he had that 2 RBI triple back on Thursday that curved all the way to the left field corner. Another check down over here to keep Braxton Lisinski honest at first. On the first pitch to John St. Peter, that one will be low and away for ball 1. On the 1-0 coming up here, that one will be rung up for a strike, as we have a radio counterpart of ours setting up for the...
Oh, that was close,
wow,
Shane.
It was. Almost got Lisinski there for the Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart game following in a little bit. That'll be a Division IV matchup, and another throw down to Lisinski. He does keep his hand on the bag. Wouldn't have mattered anyway, because James Annan there did lose the ball momentarily, so safe all the way around no matter how you look at it.
I'll say this. Kroll has a quick pickoff move.
Yeah.
Not only the first, but just even looking at home and then quick and going over to first.
That one's going to be high and away, which, again, for someone like John St. Peter, after you just pitched to guys the likes of Sam Wildfong, Lance Voss, and Braxton Lisinski, all 6-foot guys and a little bit above, now you have someone of much shorter stature here, so you really got to tighten up the... Oh!
That'll get away.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it. Looks like St. Peter just got out of the way of that one. It did not hit him. I thought it did, but thankfully it didn't.
St. Peter so far in the game 0 for 1 with an RBI sacrifice fly. Looking to bring home Lisinski, who's on second base right now, Shane.
Yeah. Razor thin margin for error here on the smaller strike zone, as I was mentioning, for St. Peter, as he is ahead in the count 3-1 with now a man in scoring position with Lisinski. And he'll place the suicide bunt. Excellently done. The throw is in time to first, but that moves Lisinski over to third unharmed.
I mean, if you need something done at the plate, John St. Peter's the guy you want at the plate.
God,
I mean, his
yes.
ability to hit it, control the bat. We saw him put down a bunt yesterday. That was a beauty. That was a beautiful bunt as well. Advancing the runner over to third base now for Evan Bellinger coming up to the plate. Anything hit in the outfield, Shane, certainly scores a run.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what Evan Bellinger can do. Again, he's been the quietest bat in the postseason so far for the Glads. Squares up for a bunt. That will be foul as it rolls its way about 15 feet beyond the home plate area.
The old suicide squeeze was on the call there, Shane, as Bellinger squared the bunt, and Lisinski was trying to score from third base.
Lisinski's still the only man on base for the Gladiators. Crosby keeping a good eye on Lisinski, and just the ever so slight ting off the bottom of the bat will go foul once again. Bellinger falls behind 0-2.
Anything hit to the right side of the infield probably doesn't get the run. Anything in the infield likely, Shane. You just got to get this one in the outfield if you're Bellinger.
Well, he's hanging alive, takes a big hack at that one, goes about 250 feet, but in the opposite direction. That one might still be traveling to the Red Cedar River. I mean, it was long gone, just, not exactly the direction you wanted it to go. On the 0-2.
Ooh, almost froze him with the curveball.
Yeah, that was very close. Just misses the outside lower corner there for ball one. Swing and a miss. There is strikeout number one, 76-mile-an-hour fastball for Kroll.
Shane right there. I had threw a curveball prior and then came back with the fastball, changing the time against Bellinger, and that was enough to get the strikeout.
Alex Jeter comes up to bat now, pulls away the bunt for ball one. What a feather in the cap for Kroll and the rest of his cronies for the Comets to get out of this inning unscathed and keep it a 4-0 difference. 2 outs, only one man on third. That one was inside enough that Jeter had to back up about 2 steps to get out of the way.
That looked like my middle school haircut, Shane. High and tight.
Okay, well, a little bit different than the 30-year-old Charles haircut now, that's for sure, as that'll be called for strike one.
Well, so far in the game, Jeter 0 for 1 with a line out right now with a runner on third base in scoring position. A single scores a run. Trying to add.
Same spot here that Kroll's been throwing now for 3 balls. 4 pitches in this battle between he and Jeter, 3 of which have been balls. See if he can get the out required. Nope, that'll be low for ball 4. Runners at the quarters now for the Gladiators as Ethan Daziak comes up to bat. Daziak had a good bit of success in the semifinal game, but so far has struck out in this one. I just noticed Daziak, unless we change jerseys, that's going to be Grady Jeffries out there. Okay. We'll leave that the way it is.
And they got him in a pickle Right now, the Kalamazoo Christian Comets trying to tag out Jetter, and they do. And that'll be the end of the inning there as the Kroll pickoff move caught Jetter with his hand in the cookie jar. And that'll end the inning as Kroll slams the door on the Gladiators and keeps them from posting another run. Exactly what the doctor ordered if you're Kalamazoo Christian, Shane.
Yeah, first inning so far in this game where the Glads have not scored a run. They had a man threatening at third, but that's all they could get. So it remains 4-0. The Comets need to capitalize on it here in order to keep their championship hopes alive. For the meantime, we're going to send it over to commercial break and come back in just a few moments.
A Jimmy John's delivery for Meal Diamond. Meal Diamond, I got a Jimmy John's delivery. Rude. Meal Diamond. Looking for Meal Diamond. It's Jimmy John's delivery. Meal Diamond. I'm looking for Meal Diamond. Whoa. Hi, I may not be Meal Diamond, but I do have his Meal Diamond deal from Jimmy John's. Made with extra Hellmann's, just the way Meal Diamond likes it. So good. So good, yes. So good. So good. So good. So huge. The Meal Diamond deal, now available at Jimmy John's.
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter and Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
Come in.
Well, alrighty, welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the top of the fourth inning. The Gladiators held scoreless for the first time in an inning so far this game. Nothing crossed the plate for them in the third. Ooh, boy, lost. Let that one get past him there. That pitch got away from him and goes up and over the batter now, Crosby Kroll, for the Comets, again, who came in relief for Logan Biddle. And has done a good job pitching, all things considered, through his inning and a third of work so far. Has not allowed a run to cross the plate under his watch. Gets a little bit of a tack there off the bottom of the bat as it dribbles foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes between these two pitchers.
Fourth inning brought to you by 3 West Commercial. Shane, as Voss works from the windup.
High and well away for ball 2. Evens things up.
Can the Comets get the leadoff man on base?
Well, they've got a good start, although that one is going straight back to Tommy Scheffler.
He moved about a half step to his left, Shane.
He did.
I mean, he looked like me during a Sunday NFL game. I'm not moving at all.
No, he could pretty much be a statue and just stick his arm out and have grabbed that one out of the air. Unfortunate luck for Kroll there. It was a well-hit ball, just right exactly to the last spot you want to throw it to.
He's had 2 well-hit balls right at Scheffler.
Yeah.
The first time he lined out to Scheffler in the top of the first inning.
Scheffler and Kroll are going to have a good relationship here after the end of this game.
How so?
They're getting to know each other pretty well. I mean,
okay.
keep sending the balls right out to him. Strike 2. Voss quickly gets ahead in the count against Annan.
Yeah, last time Annan had a ground out, and that one misses outside. But, you know, the Kalamazoo Christian Hornets, the second time through this order, Shane, can they start squaring up these pitches?
Well, Annan won't be able to there. That's the 3rd strikeout of the day now for Voss. 1 strikeout, and if my notes are correct, only 1 walk allowed so far this game and 1 hit.
Yeah, just doing a good job keeping runners off the bases. Only 2 runners on the bases so far for Kalamazoo Christian, and that is a good recipe for success if you're the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators and one of their fans.
Yeah. Jace Rarick takes ball 1. Chops at that one foul. That'll be strike one. Yeah, all things considered, with the Gladiators having a 4-0 lead, they've only had 3 more hits than the Comets so far. They've had a couple of walks to help get on base. That's one thing that's really helped their cause. And that's kind of what we saw again against Lutheran Northwest back on Thursday, was the Gladiators only had 4 more hits than Lutheran Northwest. It was just a matter of the 8 errors and 10 walks that were allowed for the Gladiators to make that a 13-3 ball game. That'll be called strike 2 now. It'll be a 1-2 count coming up for Voss to try and retire the side in order. And he does just that. Swing and a miss. There we go. 4 strikeouts of the day for Voss. And we are going to go, speaking of 4, to the bottom of the 4th, see if the Gladiators can extend their 4-0 lead.
I'm kind of hungry, Shane. Kind of hungry for some Jimmy Johns after Lance Voss just gave us the Jimmy Johns freaky fast 1-2-3, retire the side in order on that Jimmy Johns freaky fast inning. And that'd be kind of just what the doctor ordered, right? I mean,
yeah,
I could go for like a Vito Club sandwich right now, or an umwich, which Jimmy John's has perfected, which is
is that like a
lettuce wrap
sandwich?
sandwich at Jimmy John's in Traverse City. So if you're listening, if you're out in the yard, hopefully now after the rain and other storms have passed through the area, head on over to Jimmy John's, get yourself an umwich or a Vito, my personal favorite, at Jimmy John's in Traverse City, proud partner of Next Level Broadcasting and the official sponsor of 3 Up, 3 Down, 1, 2, 3 innings. We've had 2 of them so far, courtesy of Lance Voss and his 4 strikeouts, 1 hit, 1 walk through 4 innings pitched.
Yeah, and as quick as this inning was, you can guarantee that Jimmy John's will get your sandwich out to you quicker. Do they still have that delivery guarantee, Charles? Do you know? That was a big thing for them for quite a while.
Shane, I'm not sure if you could offer that in Traverse City with all the construction.
That is fair. In the summer traffic, the way it is, you'd have to have one of those newfangled delivery helicopters.
Yeah, you'd have to have a drone delivery service.
Yeah.
Well, Kroll going back to the mound, Shane. Last time he was able to slam the door on the Gladiators, not allow them to get another run posted on the scoreboard. Even though it's a 4-0 game, Shane, there's still a lot of baseball to be played. Given how this game has felt so one-sided, the scoreboard not indicative of how one-sided it's felt. Just 4 runs, that can all be changed with still 1 swing of the bat.
Well, and I tell you, through the last inning and a third, St. Francis has been scoreless, and you got to credit Crosby Kroll coming in relief, doing a great job, even recording a strikeout last inning. Stranded 2 base runners on for the Glads. So we'll see if they can change that. There is 1-0 on the board for St. Francis, which has been uncharacteristic of them so far this postseason. As we've got Grady Jeffries again hitting in place of Ethan Daziak. Goes 1-1 in the cup.
Jeffries so far 0 for 1. This is his 2nd plate appearance.
And that one is going to be chopped right down the third base line. Gets past a diving Logan Biddle. Yeah, and there you go. Safely on first for the 9th batter in the lineup, Mr. Jeffries.
He was waiting on that pitch, Shane, in the batter's box. You could sense that he was just waiting on that one, waiting, and then finally brought the hands through in the swing and was able to just sneak it inside the base down the third base line.
All righty, back to the top of the order we go. Bit of trouble now for the Comets here, as we have our power hitters coming up for the next at least 5 batters. Colt Peterson to start things off. That'll be high and away for ball 1.
Yeah, with Jeffries being the number 9 hitter, now the lineup turns over. Top of the order due up for the Gladiators. No outs, 1 man on base. This is a golden opportunity so far.
Golden opportunity just like the helmets that St. Francis wears, as that is called for strike 1.
Peterson so far 1 hit and a walk, his 3rd plate appearance.
Ooh. Well, that would have been a beauty of a line drive had it stayed foul, because that's still going I mean, darn, that could have made it off into the softball field without too much more effort.
Yeah, he turned on that curveball, Shane. He was way out in front of it.
Yeah.
Now 1-2 count, Kroll ahead in the count.
He'll chop this one right to our second baseman today. Can we get the double play turn? Not in time. Good job by Jake Bonneman, though, to get it and field it over to his shortstop coming in, Matt Rohr, and get Jeffries out at second to remain only one base runner on the path. And he's all the way over at first, so a long way to go to bring him home for Tyler Thompson. Still, though, only one out against the Gladiators.
You know, you look at the top 2 hitters in this lineup for Traverse City St. Francis, it's very hard to turn a double play on either Peterson or Thompson. So even though you have a runner on first base, and that one was a routine double play to the second baseman,
yep,
it's just so hard to double off these 2 leadoff hitters for the Gladiators.
St. Francis wants a balk there as Kroll was looking like, at least in their opinion, looked like he was getting into his windup before he stepped off to take a look at Colt Peterson there at first. Gets back into it. On the first offering to Mr. Thompson, that one is going to be called for strike 1. Oh, 1's the count, 1 out, 1 man on. Kroll going to step off once again. Heathers himself, slowly gets into his mindset here. Throws over to first instead. Peterson slides in, plenty of time. Kroll looking over. Peterson taking a little bit more of a conservative leadoff. He's going to go.
Yeah,
and he slides in plenty of time. My goodness, he slid on his stomach for what looked to be about 15 feet. He might as well have been on a sled on ice there.
Either a sled on ice or a nice piece of Visqueen with some dish soap and water on there, Shane.
I guess. No matter what, got there with no trouble whatsoever before the throw from catcher Rarick got there. Thompson still with the 0-2 count. However, there is now a man in scoring position for Kroll and the rest of the Comets to worry about. That one well outside, ball 1.
That one at 82 miles an hour there for Kroll, Shane. So really starting to try to dial up the velocity, seeing if he can get a punch out with a fastball, but missed that one outside.
And that one will get past Rarick, getting Peterson safely to third. Thought about rounding the corner, but by that point, Rarick had gathered the ball up, and Kroll had come in to make the potential out there at home plate. So now, more trouble is brewing here for the Comets as the quick Colt Peterson is on third, and still the heart of the lineup to follow for the Gladiators. Thompson still in a battle here, even in the count 2-2.
Nice
Takes
curveball.
that one in. Yes, strike 3. Caught him looking, and Kroll gets his second strikeout of the day.
Yeah, anytime you can pull the string on a curveball with a guy on third base. Obviously, Kroll was ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. But to be able to execute that pitch there in this scenario, down 4-0, it takes a lot of moxie to let that one loose.
Well, speaking of letting it loose, here's Lance Voss. Man who can let any volley of pitches loose, but also really let the ball loose off the bat, too. And that'll be chopped nicely past shortstop Rohr. And that brings home the first run of the 4th inning. RBI single in the tally books for Voss.
After his 2 RBI double the last time he was up. How about that?
Yeah.
I'd say he's seeing the ball pretty well. So he's got 2 RBIs, or a single, a double, 3 RBIs, and a hit by pitch. So the Gladiators add another run to their now 5-0 lead.
And 4 strikeouts and only 1 hit allowed so far. So All in all, I would consider at least a fairly decent day for Lance Voss. Quite the understatement there. Wild Fong pulls up on the swing, but it was called strike anyway. So it'll be an 0-1 count. Kroll throws that one well outside. Nice job by Rourke to slide on his knees to get in front of that one and keep courtesy runner Jay McNowski at bay at first.
McNowski's getting a workout today, Shane.
Yeah, for sure. He's done a lot of dancing trying to get in good position for his steals and then finally breaks away.
Well, when you consider that you're oftentimes getting pitch ran for the pitcher, Voss, who's been on base 3 times. McNowski, you know, he's all over the infield.
Well, if there's a guy that can do it, it looks like him. He looks like he's got the stature of a well-oiled runner, that's for sure. As Wild Fong evens up the count now at 2-2 with 2 outs, 1 man on and 1 run scored so far for the Gladiators. He'll keep. No, I guess that was a strike, and he gets there safely.
Yeah, so
I thought that went off his bat, but no, it must have gone off the catcher and then went off into foul territory.
Yeah, it was strike 3, but the catcher wasn't able to catch it cleanly, so Wild Fong quickly realized that, got on his horse, and got 90 feet down the first baseline to get aboard.
It's only the second time so far in the playoffs that I've been a part of for the Gladiators that I've seen them be able to do this. So the Gladiators keep this inning alive. Runners at first and second now with Lesinski in the batter's box. But first we've got Rarick here working on some of his gear. Looks like they may be, well, I don't quite know what's going on with him at the moment.
So for Wild Fong, that won't go down in the scorebook as a hit. That'll go on, or he'll reach on a wild pitch or pass ball, depending on how the scoreskeeper wants to rule that one.
Looks to be the way Rarick is fumbling around right now. It might have tipped off his right hand. They were taking a look at it for a moment. Thankfully, he seems to be okay. So as a few fair weather clouds start working their way in, gives a brief moment of shade to enjoy for everybody. We're back underway. Ball 1 against Lesinski. Make that ball 2. On the 2-0, that one will look nice right down the middle, and it was nice there. The delayed call once again from the umpire for strike 1. Two-one count, 2 outs, 2 men on for the Gladiators, and Lesinski twirls around to avoid it. I guess it did not hit him. So he's staying up here, 3 balls and a strike now.
All thanks to the ballet course offered at St. Francis High School.
I guess, yeah. Private ballet tutors for baseball players. He's going to get a hold of this one. Just goes foul about 40 feet beyond third base. It curves foul and lands about 2 feet outside the line.
Yeah, he was in just a little early on that one. Tried to pull the hands in to keep it fair, but just missed it by 3, maybe 4 feet down the left field line, Shane.
Full count. And a chance for Kroll to get out of this inning with only 1 more run allowed, the first on the day for him so far. Lesinski, there's the old St. Francis ways back at it. Called time in the windup. And so he was already stepping out of the batter's box as the ball crossed home plate.
Well, that's the first time we've seen that timeout being issued. We've seen it a couple times not be issued. That time it was warranted by the umpire.
Yep. And this one, see if it'll drop fair. No, it does not. The first baseman, James Annan, does an excellent job ranging all the way back. Probably had to back up about 30 feet to get that one in the web of his glove. And that's all she wrote for the fourth inning of action here, ladies and gentlemen, in East Lansing at McLean Stadium. In the state championship game for Division III, St. Francis finds themselves ahead 5-0. After scoring one more run here in the fourth, we're going to step aside once again for another break. Come back in just a few moments. Stay tuned. Is it possible to...
One of the many privileges of being an insurance agent with Farm Bureau Insurance was the ability to be at all of my son's basketball games. I loved watching him from middle school all the way up to varsity basketball. And now, I'm proud to continue that support for Gladiator basketball. At the Carter & Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, we're rooting for the Glads. Go Glads!
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows. Call 231-633-9430.
Yeah, I guess I don't really need it anymore.
I'll come back.
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, as we go to the top of the fifth inning. St. Francis did notch another run in the tally books, going up 5-0. A big swing at it here from Noah Zichterman. But no dice as he misses the ball entirely for strike one. Making a little bit more room here for the second radio counterpart to work their way in shortly. And that'll be ball one. Just missed the strike zone by a smidge. On the 1-1 count against Zichterman, that one curves its way in for a called strike two.
Zichterman so far struck out earlier in the game. Big wave.
And he does it again, yep. Strikeout number 5 for Lance Voss. 5 strikeouts through 4 1/3 innings of work, 1 walk, and 1 hit allowed, and that's it.
And Shane, he didn't have a strikeout until the second inning. That was when his first strikeout. Through 2 innings, he only had 1 strikeout. So in the third, fourth, and now third of the way through the fifth, starting to find that strikeout prowess.
And a short pop-up here and a collision between Gladiators.
Got him in a pickle.
Wow. It's going to be back and forth here.
That was great by the Gladiators.
Yes, indeed. The throw got there just in time as Zichterman slid into first base, worked their way out of a pickle. It took 3 different Gladiators to make it work, but they did.
And who made that play, Shane, was Lance Voss, getting over to first base to cover from his pitcher's position. Because what it allowed for Alex Jeter in right field to quickly snap throw it back in. Because the runner, Zichterman, had taken too big of a turn at first base, the quick throw from Jeter to Voss put Zichterman in a pickle.
We're going to have another chopper to second baseman John St. Peter. It takes a big hop, gets right past his glove, and this time a base runner does reach safely, and that's starting pitcher for the Comets, Logan Biddle. And all that sequence started on that short pop fly that landed only about 15 feet beyond the infield, but a bit of a Bermuda Triangle formed between Sam Wildfong, John St. Peter, and Alex Jeter. There was even a collision between St. Peter and Jeter there in right field, and that's how it dropped safely before the throw was made back into the infield and the ensuing pickle. More contact here. They're starting to figure out Mr. Voss once again. This time it's Max Johnson up to bat.
And just for scorekeeping, bookkeeping, it was Biddle, the runner, that was caught in the pickle, not Zichterman, who struck out prior to that. So my mistake there.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I believe I called Biddle. A little Chopper over to Voss. Picks it up in his glove. Makes the underhanded toss to Wildfong, and that retires aside. After a little bit of drama and one base runner safely making it, that will take care of things here in the 5th inning for the Gladiators. 3 quick batters, 3 quick outs. And Charles, we're going into the bottom of the 5th.
Doing a great job of fielding there, Shane. Even when the hit, that was the bloop single by Biddle, got down into right field, the Gladiators didn't panic.
No.
It was Jeter who calmly picked it up, fielded it, and then Voss, headsy play, getting over to first base. Not that he anticipated Biddle taking a large turn, but Biddle did. So they were able to get him into a rundown and then get the out. Very, very calm and almost like an analytical approach to what was going on. You just don't see them rattled.
No, I don't think I've ever seen St. Francis rattled. Even when they were down by 3 runs, 10-7, in the bottom of the 7th inning against Sanford Meridian back in the regional final game. They came out there, they got the first strikeout, and my counterpart and I on the call were beginning to wonder, this might be trouble for the Gladiators, but ye of little faith, he and I were, as right after that strikeout, they immediately made contact. Unfortunately, that was a week ago, so I can't remember who it was right off the tip of my tongue here, but just one base hit was all it took, and the bat started flowing afterwards, and they got 4 straight runs to take that game 11-10.
Yeah, shout out to our UP play-by-play and color commentator Quentin Carr. He texted me earlier today saying that comeback was one of the, I forget, I'm paraphrasing of the words that he said. It doesn't come to mind, but one of the crowning moments he's ever seen of a high school baseball game.
It was phenomenal, and Quentin, you did a phenomenal job on the call. Shout out to you. Hopefully you're watching here. We'll be chatting soon. Meantime, big cut on that one. John St. Peter got contact right off the very top of the bat and stayed right there around home plate for strike 1. They have a bit of a conversation between Rarick and Kroll. Quick tap on the shoulder, and away we go right back into things.
Shane, as we approach the 2 o'clock hour here in East Lansing, 81 degrees. So we're hitting peak temperature here, supposedly 82 in the forecast around 2:30.
It's got that, here we go. John St. Peter, that gets past James Annan there. He had the glove on it, but it took an ugly bounce and skidded under the bottom of his glove and worked safely out into the right field grass.
They call that a hit, though, Shane.
Yeah. Nope, I don't blame it one bit. That was a very tough ball to field. It took a terrible hop. There wasn't much that Annan could do about it. But, yeah, I can certainly feel the mugginess at about the same level as we had this past Thursday. Thankfully, the temperature is about 7 to 8 degrees cooler than it was that day, and I'm not dripping in sweat like I was, thankfully.
Well, a lot of people screenshotted what
I bet
like
they
at that
did.
moment,
I wouldn't be surprised. There were a number of times it looked like I was crying because my eyes were so red from the salty sweat. That one's going to be hit foul. Goes right in front of the St. Francis faithful. Ball and a strike here against Bellinger.
St. Peter really trying to get a nice lead, about an 8 to 10 foot lead over there on first as Bellinger takes a big wave and a miss.
Falls behind 1-2 in the count. And the throw over to first, not in time, keeping St. Peter honest there. A fairly conservative lead, only about 4 paces off the bag for him. And again, I think he's had enough of Kroll trying to throw it towards him. He will take the base, though. Steals. Does he get there in time? No, he does not. Wow, I wish we had the instant replay on a super zoom camera there, because that was about as close as you can get. He was about, from here it looked like he was about a finger off the bag when the tag was made. And so for the first time this game, the tag out has been right on.
First caught stealing of the game, and Jake Rarick with the catcher for Kalamazoo Christian getting St. Peter caught stealing. So thou shalt not steal.
No. Nice. I like that. 2 private schools, 1 Christian, 1 Catholic. That's a good place for that one. And full count for Bellinger. Oh, he got contact, but that one will go foul past third base. For a moment, Kroll steps off the mound, scuffs a little dirt, gets his thoughts back in order. See what he can pull out to try and put away Bellinger and get his 3rd strikeout of the game. Oh, well, instead, that one will be thrown off of Bellinger's bicep, so he'll trot down to first. First hit by pitch of the day for Kroll.
I believe the second hit by pitch or hit batter for the Gladiators today. As the first was Lance Voss. And Voss is having a great day, not only on the mound, but at the plate as well. He's got 3 RBIs, a single, and a double.
So we got Alex Jeter to the plate. Ooh, boy, Bellinger stumbled his way back to first base. He took a very healthy leadoff, probably about 6 paces. Was caught off guard as Jace Rarick wanted to throw down to Annan. Stumbled his way back to first, and here again, Kroll makes the same attempt. This time a much more conservative, about 3-pace lead for Bellinger. Jeter waves and says goodbye to that one. Cuts under it for strike 2. 1-2 count here for Jeter. And ring him up. Strike 3. Strikeout number 3 of the day for Kroll. Again, he came out first off in the bottom of the 2nd. So through 2 and, oh no, it's going to be now 3 full innings of work. He has recorded 3 strikeouts.
And only given up 1 run, Shane.
Yeah, no, a great job by him, all things considered. Grady Jeffries up to bat now. He did have that single.
Yep, Jeffries 1 for 2 so far. He pinch hit for Daziak and during his first plate appearance, and then singled in his last plate appearance.
1-1 in the count here for Jeffries. Takes that one low. He's got only 1 man on base so far and 2 outs for the Gladiators. Again, that's Evan Bellinger, who got hit in the bicep just a few moments ago. Doesn't exactly have the wheels that everyone else on the team does. One of the larger frames on the team.
I don't know about that, Shane. I saw Evan Bellinger take a fullback trap for like a 66-yard touchdown this year in a game at home. I forget who it was against, but yeah, he showcased the wheels on that quick little hitter back on the football gridiron.
Okay. Well, we'll see if he can exemplify that here.
That said, I don't think he'll be attempting to steal.
No, I haven't seen him do that yet. And that's strikeout number 4 now for Kroll. As we go to the top of the 6th, still a 5-0 score. We're going to send it to another commercial break and come back in a few moments. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Culver Meadows, Traverse City's premier family-owned senior living community specializing in dementia care. Here at Culver Meadows, we cultivate the perfect environment for your loved ones by combining our setting, scenery, and social interaction of our residents. We pride ourselves at being an extension of your own family here at Culver Meadows. Call 231-633-9430.
make that Jeffries correction for me if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Alrighty, welcome back in. Top of the 6th inning we go. St. Francis held scoreless now for the 2nd inning out of 5 this game. Again, credit to Kroll and the rest of his teammates doing a great job, as that will be just a little grounder to Mr. Voss. Takes care of business there for Matt Rohr, who just went up to bat, top of the lineup here for the Comets. And Charles and I were talking during the break, and we did want to make one correction. Grady Jeffries has technically been to the plate 3 times, but he never saw a pitch in his very first appearance. He is now 1 for 2. He did have that one single when he went up for his full first appearance and then just struck out here a moment ago. So we want to make that correction for those of you keeping the tally books at home. And we now have a 1-0 count against Bonema. Got good contact there, but it'll scream off towards the concession stand area.
Shane Bonema with the highest batting average on the team for the Comets, trying to get something going here so far. He's 0 for 2, and now the 3rd time around seeing Lance Voss. Maybe he's able to put something in play.
Again, there's been plenty of contact from Voss. Just a lot of it has been foul or right into the glove of a waiting outfielder today. And waiting they have. There's been very little movement in terms of making a catch here in the outfield, apart from that little blooper into right field that we saw back last inning. That'll be ball 4. Bonema takes his base. The 2nd walk of the day allowed by Voss. Crosby Kroll comes up. Am I mistaken, or did he have a hit earlier on in the game?
No, he's 0 for 2.
Okay.
The top of the order, Shane, went 1, 2, 3 in order fashion, and then I believe in the 4th inning they also went down in order as well. So this is now the 3rd time when the order has turned over.
Okay. It was Logan Biddle, the starting pitcher, who got the hit of the 2 pitchers so far.
And then he was thrown out in the pickle.
Yes, yep. Ooh, this one is good distance, but again, only about 4 steps to his right. Alex Jeter made the catch, no problem there for out number 2. They had one of the farther distances that we've seen from a Comet hit so far today. Probably got in the range of about 280 to 300 feet. But no issue for Alex Jeter. Annan, the first baseman, comes up to bat. Number 4 in the lineup.
That one just missed. That's his spot that Voss has been hitting so far, Shane, on the outside part of the plate from these left-handed hitters. And I bet if he puts it there again, he'll get a strike call.
Mm-hmm.
That one was there, but just low.
Yep, indeed.
Voss working quickly now from the stretch. It's a quick delivery.
He's ready to get over with this inning and let his teammates have one more chance out there on the offensive side of the ball. As that'll be called for a strike, 2-1.
Got him.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, just caught it once more. It's now an even count, 2-2.
I tell you what, man, he's been so consistent with that pitch location all game long, Shane, through 5 2/3 innings.
I would love to see the graphic of all the pitches he's had. There's going to be a big clump right there in that lower outside corner. That one's going to miss for a ball, but the throw down to second is not in time. Nice job by the shortstop, Tyler Thompson, to get over there, but just a little bit offline and late on the throw from Colt Peterson. So for one of the few times today, in fact, I believe maybe only the 2nd time today, there is a Comet in scoring position. That's Bonema at 2nd. On the full count, there is yet another walk allowed by Voss, his 3rd of the day. And that allows Annan to trot to first base. 2 players on now, and this may be the end of the day for Voss.
Yeah, let's see what head coach Tom Passanant wants to do. And it looks like he is going to not make a change. Looks like just going out to talk to Lance Voss and the rest of his infielders on how they want to approach this situation and keeping Voss in the game.
You really have to love the trust in your pitcher there from head coach Tom Passanant. I mean, you've got 2 players on base right now. Thankfully, it is 2 outs, so there is very little room for error from the Comets in terms of the hitting side of things. But still, I mean, you could potentially, with the only home run that we could see all weekend long, if it were to be, you could get this back within 2 runs here in this inning with who's currently on the field. But that will be chopped right over to shortstop, and the out is made. No problem there. Thompson just underhand tosses it over to John St. Peter. Bonema had to scoot out of the way of that one so he wouldn't run interference.
And just a good job. Voss coming out of that meeting on the mound, comes out with a fastball, swung on right to Thompson, flip over to St. Peter, and the Gladiators get out of the 6th inning unscathed.
When in doubt, rely on the rest of your team. As you said earlier, there are 7 players behind you, Charles. That's a very good way to put it. So he did just that. He allowed his reliable shortstop, Tyler Thompson, to field it on a good hop around a dancing Jake Bonema. The throw was made over to St. Porter in good time, and that retired the side. So through 6 full innings of work for Voss, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 3 hits allowed, no runs earned. That's a pretty solid stat line in my book.
And both teams, Shane, without any errors in the game.
Yeah.
So it's been a very cleanly fielded game, unlike what we saw in the semifinal.
Yeah.
But overall, it's been good, aesthetically pleasing baseball to watch. Once again, we don't have video today due to the rights of this video being owned by the MHSAA and the NFHS network. If you want to watch this game's over live on the NFHS. I believe it's 2 or 3 minutes delayed past real time, as we're 2 to 3 minutes also ahead. But
and we're free, so there you got that too.
And whether you're mowing the grass or cooking lunch, hopefully the weather has turned around in northern Michigan. We're down in beautiful East Lansing at McLean Stadium, Jeff Ishbia Field. And Shane, so far this one has come up in favor of the Gladiators at every stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a total of, I believe, 5, maybe 6, but I believe 5 base runners the entire afternoon for the Comets. Otherwise, the Gladiators, if it's not strikeouts from Lance Voss, of which, again, he has 5, it's been on excellent fielding, as we've seen all season long from the rest of his teammates.
And while we have an opportunity to do so, if you're just tuning in to Next Level Broadcasting for the first time, if you want to leave us a comment on the video or the stream that you're watching, you do need to be subscribed. So go ahead and subscribe so you can comment on our YouTube live chat. That way we can interact with you where you're watching from, listening from, I should say. And go ahead and start voting for the player of the game.
Oh, yeah.
As we have gotten into the bottom of the 6th inning. If the Gladiators hold firm, this will be the last time that they come to the plate.
Yes, indeed.
And the 6th inning at-bats for the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators brought to you by Culver Meadows.
Well, the Comets have done a great job keeping St. Francis, especially with his relief pitcher Crosby Kroll, scoring only 1 run through the last 3 innings. But the big issue for them now is they have the entire top of the lineup to get through. And Kroll has already fallen well behind here against Colt Peterson, 3-0 in the count. Make that 4-0.
Base on balls to the leadoff hitter in the top of the lineup. So that brings up Tyler Thompson with Lance Voss waiting on deck. Lance Voss, the 3 hitter in today's lineup, he's been doing some damage. And
I would say.
He's able to do that damage, Shane, because the guys in front of him, Peterson and Thompson, have been getting on base.
Yeah, when you get a leadoff walk like that, it always feels good. And
Shane, I hark back to the 2nd inning for that 2 RBI double that turned this from a 2-run game to a 4-run game. And that's when it really started to feel like it was going to be the Gladiators' day. As I had said all pregame and in the first inning, that it was critical for the Kalamazoo Christian to come out and establish themselves, maybe get a run on the board in the first 3 innings. And credit to Lance Voss, he did not allow that to happen.
Exactly right. As I just made the change here, position change for the Comets. Sammy Pruis comes out now to take over duties at first base instead, or in replacement of James Annan, rather. 1-0 count for Thompson. Make that 2 also. 6 straight balls thrown now by Crosby Kroll. I don't know if this is fatigue or if this is nerves getting to him with the weight of the moment here being potentially your final chance to pitch this season. But now 7 straight balls as Thompson goes ahead in the count 3-0. Reeled that in for a strike.
Shane, we want to turn to the YouTube chat line, and we got some people tuning in. We got Jessica Alcorn tuning in. Hey, get back to work. As that one is well deserved by Thompson.
Yep.
So we also want to say to ZY Zima, thanks to Next Level Broadcasting. Always a great show. Well, hopefully it's a good show. I mean, you got to look at these 2 faces up here. And then
that gets pretty fatiguing after a 2.5-hour long broadcast, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you get to see us in the booth sometimes and how we react and how we go about calling these games, where most people during a football or basketball game don't get to see our live knee-jerk reaction. So obviously a little different. Hope you've enjoyed it. Also hope you have been able to get on with your day as opposed to having to watch the 2 of us here broadcast the game. If you're taking us on the run or in your pocket or on your car play, we appreciate your support and appreciate you tuning in. We wouldn't be able to do this without the support of those people and without the support of people tuning in and our sponsors. As we have a meeting on the mound, we just want to thank all of our sponsors with Culver Meadows, 3 West Commercial Real Estate, Jimmy John's, Carter & Associate Farm Bureau, That's a Pizza, BC Pizza, and all of our other hard-working men and women that go into making this possible. And then the internet support of Surf Internet for power in today's broadcast.
Without them, as you said, none of this would be possible, and so we give all the credit of the world to you at home, ladies and gentlemen, and to our sponsors for allowing us to make this trip all the way down here to East Lansing so we can provide at least something to you for free. Granted, it is audio, and otherwise you see our friendly, I guess we'll call it, faces. So hopefully that that gives you a little something to laugh at here and there as we make our calls. 0-1 is the count for Voss. He'll square up for the bunt. That one goes high and foul. Rorick was on the track to try and catch that one, but he got tripped up by we'll call it the little lip there around the circle around home plate. There's about a maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch lip between the 2 different cuts of grass, and he might have tripped up on that as he was trying to range over and grab the foul ball and get the first out of the inning. So we've got an 0-2 count for Voss. And 2 runners on. Colt Peterson and Tyler Thompson both. Voss calling time here. Gets Kroll out of his routine once again.
The game within the game, Shane.
That's right. St. Francis is good at it. And that'll be ball 1. Kroll again. 4 strikeouts in now 3 1/3 innings of work for him. 4 strikeouts there, 1 walk allowed before this inning. Now make it 2, or 3 rather, as he walked both Thompson and Peterson. And speaking of them, they're going to simultaneously steal over to second and third bases respectively.
And a great time to call the double steal, Shane. It was an off-speed pitch, And when you have speed on the base pass, an off-speed pitch is an automatic steal.
So a 2-2 count here for Voss. Ooh, hits that one off of the umpire. Skitters off his bat right into the umpire's chest. He'll take a moment, steps back, gets a breather. Thankfully, he seems to be all right. And we'll resume here in a moment. But first, catcher Rourke is going to go talk out with his pitcher for a brief moment. We'll come back. Nobody's in a hurry. And why should we be? It's a beautiful day for baseball.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's even better from where we're at in the press box with a nice breeze coming in now and much more comfortable than, like, you know, Jace Rourke down there catching behind the plate.
No kidding. Voss is going to line this one, bounces off the pitcher's mound right into the glove of shortstop Matt Rohr.
Wow.
A fine job by him grabbing that one out of the air and making the out at first. But the Gladiators do get a run to cross the plate as Colt Peterson comes in standing up.
What a great play
Yeah.
by Rohr at shortstop, because if that goes through, Voss has another 2 RBIs. It did add another one now for his 4th RBI of the game. Lance Voss definitely the leader in the clubhouse for player of the game here so far for the Gladiators.
I couldn't agree with you more. So Sam Wildfong comes up to bat now with still one man to get off the base pads here and try and get another run across the plate. Wouldn't even if he got a home run here, it wouldn't quite be the 3-run home run shot that we saw in that regional final against Stanford Meridian. That was a thing of beauty. Again, Quentin Carr was on the call for that game. He did a great job.
You were there too, right?
I was, but I was handling more of the stuff that Cameron Brandenburger
juggling.
was taking care
You
of.
were
Yeah,
juggling.
I was. That one's going to come in high and tight like Charles's haircut from high school, so he tells us.
Middle school.
Oh, middle school. Oh, okay, that far back. All right. 2-0 in the count.
Oh,
Line drives that one into deep left field before it can finally be grabbed up by Jackson Herter. And that'll be an RBI single to put on Wildfong's tally book as Tyler Thompson crosses home plate and makes this a 7-0 ball game. Still only one out with one man on base as Braxton Lisinski tries things again here at the batter's box, but this may finally be the end of the day for Kroll as everyone comes back out. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I do think that this is truly the time that they'll be calling it for him.
and it looks like it will be indeed, Shane, which will be our Culver Meadows pitching change. When life puts you in a jam, Culver Meadows comes in relief. That's Culver Meadows Retirement, Alzheimer's, and Senior Living for Dementia Care. And, Shane, one of the things that the Gladiators do is they're just so relentless. They do not give you a break.
No, they do not. Nope, not like our friends at Culver Meadows. They do not make life easy for their opponents, that's for sure. As we've now seen our 3rd pitcher in this game for the Comets to try and finish this one out. So this will be 21 now. James Annan, who was originally playing first base, he'll be coming in to replace Crosby Kroll.
And this can be one of the most tricky situations, almost defeated situations in baseball. When it's the bottom of the 6th inning and you're a team that's trailing by 7 runs, you still have to go out there and get 2 more outs just to give yourself a chance. But at this point in time, sometimes from a mental standpoint, it feels like the wall has closed in on you, and it's very mentally taxing to be in this position.
Yeah, how about English? How about that? There does come a time where, and I've been in these situations before, where it just feels like it becomes too insurmountable. You kind of know that this might be the end of the line, but you just try and play as hard as you can through it, keep your head up, and play as if it was a 0-0 ball game, just as your coach has taught you all season long. So now Braxton Lisinski does come out after we've had a good handful of warm-up pitches by Annan. Kroll will be over at first now. continue to make the changes at the bases as we see them. That's going to be popped up high and falls foul just in front of the St. Francis dugout. But I mean just, it's probably about a foot in front of that fence. And so Annan decided he was better off not crashing into the party there in the St. Francis dugout and let that one go.
It's a big at-bat right now for Braxton Lisinski. Runner on first base, double plays in order. If you're a Gladiator, you definitely want to stay out of that situation, try to extend this inning.
And there's another line drive. That'll fall right into the same place that Sam Wildfong hit it, into mid-left field. About halfway between the infield and the fence, drops safely, and we've got yet another strong base hit for the Glads. With only one out, 2 men on base now.
Back-to-back base hits by the Gladiators seniors. Sam Wildfong and Braxton Lisinski put 2 men aboard for John St. Peter, a guy who, by the time his career is all said and done, Shane, might be one of the best to ever do it.
Oh my God.
Playing baseball at St. Francis. Consider the fact that he is a starter at second base on a team primed to win a state championship. Pretty special.
It is pretty special, especially when you could get the name Old Reliable, and he's only a freshman. There's nothing old about him, but he has been one of the most reliable bats this season, especially in the postseason. As he takes that one high and away for ball 1. You got Wildfong and Lisinski at second and first, respectively. That's going to be a high pop fly foul. And nearly takes out a young boy there. Thankfully, he was able to get out of the way. Those are always scary moments. Thankfully, he's even got a glove, too. So
call those spectator eliminators, Shane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do.
That's got to be a T-shirt. I mean, that's been said way too many times throughout the course of this playoff.
Get some next-level merch with the spectator eliminator on it. Yeah, I'm all for it. 1-1 count for St. Peter.
Pretty soon people might start think we're referencing ourselves, though. We're taking out spectators left and right with our broadcasts.
I was going to say we're lulling everybody to sleep in this game, maybe. Oh, well.
Taking out more people than Thanksgiving tryptophan turkey.
Ooh, boy, if we're that bad, I don't know. We should keep doing this. 2-1 count. St. Peter's going to get that one over to Rohr at shortstop. The turn to second. The out is made there, but not before St. Peter can cross at first. So we get one more out there. That was Lisinski thrown out at second, but that advances Wildfong over to third. So we've got runners at the corners now. St. Peter and Wildfong on base still with 2 outs for Evan Bellinger to come up. Now, I hate to say this, but this is the one batter that the Comets would like to face in a situation like this to get out of this inning is Bellinger has, oh, well, never mind. Just going to say not gotten a hit, but that one is going to drop fair in center field, and that will bring home 2 runners. He is safe. The throw was right on line, but St. Peter just avoided the glove as he slid in to home plate. A 2 RBI single for Bellinger. He hadn't gotten a hit all game long, and just when it looked like the Comets could get out of this one without any more damage, he makes an absolute beauty into straightaway center, about 320 feet deep. And you got to give credit to Noah Zichterman. He came in running as fast as he could to try and catch that. Even went for a dive, but it just missed his glove. Wow, what a sequence of events there, Charles.
Absolutely. Now, Shane, this also brings the mercy rule into effect for the Gladiators in the bottom of the 6th inning. One more run here would make it a 10-run differential, which would walk off the game in essence.
Yep. 10 runs after the 5th 10-run lead will take care of that. As Alex Jeter comes up here, takes that one for strike 1. Gladiators can smell victory no matter what. Ooh,
off.
Yes, here we go. There'll be a pickle coming up. I don't know how. Okay, they did. I was going to say it looked like they got, and it was Peter Gallagher who came in replace of Bellinger. But it looked like they got him tagged out. He still ran it out anyway. But yes, indeed, that will keep this game going for 1/2 inning more, unless if the Comets have a miracle up their sleeves and pull out 9 runs here in the 7th to tie things up.
All right, so we'll head to the top of the 7th. Stay tuned. You're watching Gladiator Baseball, this state championship game here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back in a minute after these messages.
All right, guys, here's what we get.
A Jimmy John's delivery for Meal Diamond. Meal Diamond, I got a Jimmy John's delivery. Rude. Meal Diamond. Looking for Meal Diamond. It's Jimmy John's delivery. Meal Diamond, I'm looking for Meal Diamond. Whoa. Hi, I may not be Meal Diamond, but I do have his Meal Diamond deal from Jimmy John's. Made with extra Hellmann's, just the way Meal Diamond likes it. So good. So good, yes! So good! So good! So good! So huge! The Meal Diamond deal, now available at Jimmy John's.
Alrighty, we're back in. Thankfully, I have not had any serious hot mic moments, as I keep forgetting that graphic used to be in the commercial scene, so there wouldn't be any sound. It's in this one now, so I've squeaked out a couple different things, so you at home might have catch that. I do apologize. Thankfully, I haven't sworn or anything.
Should write everybody a letter. I'm sure they really care.
I'm sure they do.
So we got the pitching change here, Shane.
Yeah.
We have Tyler Endress coming in for the Culver Meadows pitching change. Not necessarily the Gladiators are in a jam, but the Culver Meadows pitching change. When life puts you in a jam, Culver Meadows is there to help and assist you and your family during those trying times when dealing with an elderly one with Alzheimer's or dementia. That's Culver Meadows, our pitching change sponsor here this afternoon in the state championship game where the Gladiators are primed to go back-to-back as they've got a 9-run advantage heading into the top of the 7th. They are 3 outs away from doing something that hasn't been done since when, Shane?
13 years ago. So
wow.
Do the math. That's 2013 now. If you can believe that, folks, that was 13 years ago. And I believe Tyler Endress has definitely earned a chance to throw a few pitches in this game. Lance Voss did a commendable job.
Wow.
Through 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 hits, no earned runs, and we've got a first pitch strike here on delivery from Endress. Swinging strike 2 on an absolute heater. That's Noah Zichterman trying to get at least some form of contact against Endress.
You know, completely different standpoint of watching it from the eye of the hitter.
Yeah.
Endress, 6'4", really rears back with a high leg kick and fires it, Shane, as that one just missed. But the difference in the eye level that the hitter experiences here and then the velocity and the leg kick, it all just adds to the difficulty of being able to hit a different pitcher.
That one, same spot, just misses the strike zone by about 4, maybe 5 inches. So it'll be a 2-2 count coming up.
See if we can get an accurate velocity here on Endress's pitches.
I would love that. Ooh, man, almost struck him out. And when I say got the slightest hair on the bat, I mean that thing just, you could barely hear it up here. He might have gotten a germ height of ball off of that one there. Just barely touched the ball. Curious to see what the umpire is talking to Endress about.
I think he was taking a look at his brim of his hat to see if he had any like moisture wicking substance on there. Obviously it's 80 degrees out there, Shane, so if you're pitching, it can be challenging to keep your hands dry.
Sure. All right, well, he'll step off for a minute, gain his composure, and with the 2-2 count, look to get his first strikeout of this game, team's 6th. And that was an 81-mile-an-hour fastball. He does do just that. It would have been called a ball, but Zichterman got it over the plate just enough. They called it an out.
Checked his swing and checked it too far.
Yep.
As there's punch out number 1 for Tyler Endress, looking to close the door here in the top of the 7th.
High and away for ball 1 against Biddle. Biddle recorded 1 of 3 hits this entire game for the Comets. Again, the starting pitcher for them as well. He allowed 4 runs through his inning and 2/3 of work. Did record a couple of strikeouts as well. 2-0 count for him. Endress fires one. That was a beauty. Fastball catching the outside corner for strike 1. And that one's going to get past Endress. Thompson makes the throw over and plenty of time to Sam Wildflong. Out number 2, the Gladiators can really feel the victory coming on now.
Tyler Pac-Man Thompson, Shane. He's just gobbling up everything on the infield.
I like that.
Nothing gets by Pac-Man, and he's made some great plays, and I'm sure that they didn't even push him today to what the total prowess of his fielding skill on the infield. What a great career playing shortstop for Tyler Thompson.
He hasn't even had to see the dirt yet. His jersey's squeaky clean. That'll be strike 1 against Jackson Herder. Potentially 2 pitches away from the state championship for St. Francis. Well, first we're going to have a line drive, and the catch is made. St. Francis is your 2026 Division III state champions off the catch from Tommy Schaffler. He only had to move about 15 paces to his right, made the catch in easy fashion. And the pile out there at the pitcher's mound, the Gladiators come away with a hard-fought, well-deserved victory after a historic season. Their final record, according to the MHSAA, is 34-5. Number 1 in the state Division III all the way through the season. And they come out with the victory here in easy fashion, 9-0, outscoring their opponents 22-3 in this championship weekend.
How about that, Shane? If that's not utter dominance and just overall a team that's locked in and ready to play some baseball here. They were on a mission, you could tell, because when you go out and you mercy the first team in the semifinal and are 1 run away from mercying the team in the state championship game, that just shows you the distance between the Gladiators and the rest of the field here in Division III this year in the 2026 school year.
Absolutely incredible. And while there's a lot of seniors on this St. Francis team, there's a lot of returning players, a lot of young talent coming up. So this St. Francis baseball team is going to be a force to be reckoned with, I'm sure, for years to come, Charles.
Absolutely, Shane. As you see the team over here going toward the big blow-up of this bracket, slapping their name on the championship ledger as the Gladiators celebrate. They've done it, Shane. They've punched their ticket to immortality with a back-to-back state championship run that we haven't seen since 2013. Wow, that's pretty much all I can say with a very large exclamation mark after that.
4 state final appearances in 9 years. Back-to-back wins here in the last 2. And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately you can't see the action here live right now, but we do have cameras all around recording this so you can see these moments for yourself live on all of our different social media outlets later on, if not today, before this weekend is over. But again, we want to give a heartfelt congratulations to Traverse City St. Francis for their hard-fought season. And Charles, I think, unfortunately, we'd love to talk some more, but we're going to have to clean things out of here for our radio counterparts.
We're going to get things wrapped up here, but one last time, we want to thank all of our sponsors from 3 West Commercial Real Estate, Culver Meadows, Traverse City Jimmy John's, Carter & Associates Farm Bureau, That's a Pizza, and BC Pizza in Traverse City for making this game possible for you to watch from the convenience of wherever you find comfort. For everybody here, Shane, your final thoughts before we put a pin in this one?
Well, I just very quickly going to run through the state championship team so everybody who didn't play today can get their name heard once at least. We got Lance Voss, Tyler Thompson, Alex Jetter, Colton Peterson, Ethan Daziak, Sam Wildfong, John St. Peter, Grady Jeffries, Braxton Lisinski, Jack Young, Tommy Schaffler, Tyler Endres, Jasper Boomer, Jack Therian, Evan Bellinger, Peter Gallagher, Jay McNowski, and Eli Young, your 2026 Division III state champions. Charles, that'll take care of it. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. We hope to see you soon for the football season, but until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. For all of us here, Cameron Brandenberger, Zach Ladis Kennedy, Charles Strail, and myself, Shane Smith, thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of this beautiful weekend. Good day.